You
quit soda.
Tonight on the podcast, we watch as Lance vinyl wraps his nutsack. Welcome to my party. We're just getting started. A life is a dream. It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're locked in to the best damn podcast in all the land. The Absolute Geek Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Lance.
And I'm JP.
My voice kind of squeaked there a little bit. Lance.
Yeah, because you had your balls tucked up when you were.
Yeah, I pulled a couple hairs. Pulled a couple hairs.
That's how Lance's wife has to get him out of bed in the morning. She's like, "You gotta get the kids ready for bed." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sleeping," and she just starts yanking pubes. One by one.
Not with my Manscaped. No pubes to yank.
Are they still a sponsor?
No, fuck that.
No, they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay me, so I'm gonna let my bush go wild and free now. Just like
I just got the second part of the package I ordered from Christmas last week.
What?
They didn't have it all available or whatnot. The supply chain issues, and I just got it like an extra deodorant and an extra shampoo came in the mail.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, did it come in the mail, or did you accidentally click the like subscription where it auto renews?
I didn't. My wife got it for me for a Christmas gift, so I hope she didn't. But it.
Well, you'll find out next month.
Yeah. So.
Happy Good Friday, everyone. Happy Easter. How was your guys' week? What are you guys up to? What's good? What's new? What's fresh in your worlds?
It's good, man. It's almost NBA playoff time.
Who cares?
Yeah. Is it NHL playoffs next?
Yeah, they usually run around the same time. Who's your team for hockey?
Let me guess. Pittsburgh Penguins.
That's right, baby.
Yeah. The Yinzers.
Right. They are.
You're kind of a homer like I am.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to watch them practice.
You're not no. Which one did you say you're not a fan of?
I don't love the Pirates, but I used to.
Nobody loves the Pirates.
Yeah, I used to go see them all the time. So,
nobody loves the Pirates.
I don't pay much attention, but if they started winning again, I would probably start to pay attention again. I do have jerseys, and I do have a spot in my basement that is dedicated to the Pirates, but can't beat the Penguins though. They've 19? How many years in a row they've been in the playoffs? The longest streak in all of professional sports.
Much different than the Arizona Coyotes.
Well, the Pirates haven't been in the playoffs since it was almost 25 years until they got back into it in 2013. So.
No, the Pittsburgh Pirates are the baseball equivalent of the Arizona Coyotes.
Yep. They only had one
Pirates, but not the Penguins.
No, just
not the Penguins.
No. The Pirates were good, like, 5 years ago or something like that?
2013 when they had McCutcheon.
Yeah.
Now they got him back, but they made one or two playoff runs, not very far, but enough to get the city back to enjoying baseball again. A lot of people get mad at how easily they, trade off their prospects.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody in the playoffs played for the Pirates at one point. It's crazy how many of their prospects got traded.
The Coyotes have played or have won, I think, one playoff game in like their history.
The year that the
it's
COVID
bad.
Year, they won in the Dome in Canada.
Oh, then they won a few years before that.
The Avalanche.
They won a few years before that. Then,
hey, I mean, the Penguins were
Shane
bad
Doan
from the 60s to the 80s, so it took a long time. So expansion teams it's tough. So maybe some.
But they're not an expansion team. They transferred from another city.
What? Where? What city?
Somewhere in Canada.
Winnipeg.
Oh,
well, there's the Winnipeg Jets now, but
that wasn't them then.
My home and native land.
Was it Montreal Expos?
I know.
That's a baseball team. No one's paying attention.
They
were the Winnipeg Jets from 72 to 96.
The Whalers. Are they the Whalers?
The new Winnipeg Jets are kind of like a Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens situation. But
I don't know hockey very well.
They were the Winnipeg Jets of the World Hockey Association.
But I don't think they've won more than... Oh, they have a division championship. That's nice. There's not much to write home about with this team. Oh, man.
Hockey's a fun sport to be in person and watch. It's a great sport to watch playoffs.
It is. Hockey is one of the best. It's like the best sport to watch live.
I'm not a huge TV fan when it comes to hockey. Like, I'll watch them if my team's doing good, but I love going to the games. That's why I'm stoked that they left Glendale.
Why would you be stoked they left Glendale?
Because they're going to be in Tempe, and now
they're in the Tempe arena, and it's double the ticket price because the arena.
No,
is smaller.
they're building a huge stadium
not
right
building
under
shit yet because the city of Phoenix is trying to block it.
The town of Tempe just sued the city of Phoenix like $2.3 billion because the town of Tempe approved it, and then Phoenix is saying, "Oh, the fly trail or whatever."
Yeah, they have it messes with the.
It's gonna
jet
happen.
stream.
It's gonna happen.
No, I think they get shipped out of Phoenix.
No, the NHL won't let them. The new owners. That's why the NHL owed them for 5 years, because the original guy that put a bid in wanted to move them to Seattle, I think. And the NHL came in and blocked that sale, purchased them, had them for 5 years, and the new owners have a contract that they're not allowed to leave the state of Arizona. NHL does not want to leave.
Yeah, they still will. Nobody cares about hockey here.
There's people that care about hockey. They built the fucking thing in Glendale.
Nah, nobody cares about hockey.
Yeah, dude. Read up on it, dude. They built the thing in Glendale and most of their fans are rich white neighborhoods like Mesa and Gilbert and everything else. People weren't going to their games because it's in fucking Glendale.
Yeah, that's a bullshit. That's a bunch of whiners. No, it really is, because look at the Cardinals. They're in Glendale, and if you want to go to Cardinals game, guess what? Your ass is going to drive to Glendale.
They play 8 games a year in that stadium, and
so
it's
what?
Fucking
it's just
far, dude.
It's in the West Valley.
Yeah, they play 8 games a year on the weekend.
How long does it take you to get there?
Fucking Egypt, anyway.
It takes me 2 hours to get there.
Oh, it does not.
Yes, it
takes you an hour.
does.
Dude, it takes me an hour to get from my house to your house.
I have buddies
that an hour just to get to Van Buren and 44th.
And then you're crazy.
No, dude. It takes to get to Westgate, it's almost 2 hours. When we went to Korean barbecue with you, we didn't get home till like 2 in the morning or something like that.
What? How did you?
We left that place at midnight, dude. Like it was late as fuck, dude. 2 hours, bro.
Who was driving?
Me.
You probably drive slow then.
Oh, the fuck I do.
Be driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
The fuck I do. Max needs to get on this show and fucking tell you.
Dude, we have people that drive from where I'm at like an hour and a half to Buffalo to see the Bills play every week. Hour and a half, if not longer, to see the Bills play.
Yeah, but football is different. Like when you're talking about hockey that plays how many
games?
Yeah, and then they're in the middle of a weekday, whereas football, the majority of their games are on a Sunday.
Yeah,
in the middle of the
Thursday or a Monday.
But the last time I went, you're playing Thursday night, you're playing Sunday night, Monday night. So if you got kids or got to go to work, you're late, hour and a half. I used to drive down to the Pirates to take clients out to watch the Pirate games, and it was a 3-hour drive. The game was at 7, and I get home at like 3 in the morning. It was no fun at all.
Yeah, it's Max and I went to a game a few years ago. We're right behind our coworker at the time gave us tickets. We were right behind. We were like third row up, and we didn't get home till 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
it was bad. Getting out of Westgate like right after a game is a nightmare. Like getting on the freeway.
What are you talking about? No, it's not.
Fuck, dude, you live there. How are you denying this? Yes,
because I leave Westgate and I'm home in 15 minutes. I have no problems getting out of there. I don't know what
live
you're
right
doing.
there.
I don't know what like ass backwards like plan
to
you
get
guys
out of the park
to
get out of the parking.
Not hard.
Yes, it is, dude. It's
no, it isn't. You just gotta know how to go around Westgate.
There's but if you're not from there, how the fuck do you know that?
Google Maps, it's pretty simple, dude. It doesn't take long to
No.
get out of there.
No,
You're just doing it wrong.
the Coyotes need it.
What
The
she says.
Coyotes need to be in Mesa.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
Because you're going to see when they're in Mesa and the same amount of people are going, because nobody cares about hockey here. It makes no difference where they're at. It's the same where they're at now, where they're in
You're
Glendale.
wrong,
It just
bro.
looks like a lot of people where they're at now because it's a small arena that doesn't even fit the NHL minimum of
Yeah,
attendance.
it's a small. Yeah, they're playing at ASU Arena. It's the smallest stadium for NHL hockey right now.
If people cared about that hockey team, Glendale wouldn't have sent them packing. Nobody cares about the Coyotes. That's the hard.
Glendale
fact
sued
of
them
it.
for leaving, bro.
No, they didn't. Glendale wanted
Yeah,
a piece.
that
no.
stadium city. That stadium.
Glendale-
Yes, dude. Oh my
Glendale
God.
wanted a piece of all the sales. They wanted a piece of the concessions. They wanted a piece of all the sales. And the Coyotes told them to kick rocks. So the city of Glendale told the Coyotes to kick rocks. And now they're saying, well, we've made double the revenue in 1 year in concerts and other venue and other things going on in this stadium than we ever did when the Coyotes were here. So that's why they told them to kick rocks, because Glendale wanted a piece of the concessions. They wanted a piece of like everything the Coyotes were doing. And the Coyotes said no, so Glendale told them to kick rocks.
The Coyotes fucking sued Glendale, bro.
Yes, because Glendale
out
wanted
of their
all this stuff
contract.
for them. Yes, because Glendale wanted all this stuff for them. Glendale blocked them. They wanted the Coyotes were trying to re-up their contract, and the city of Glendale said, no, we're done with you. It was the city of Glendale that made the call and said, we're done with you, and locked them out of the arena and wasn't going to let them in the arena.
After a $200 million
Sorry, Darth,
lawsuit.
not happening.
Yeah. But they locked him out of the arena.
Not
They
happening.
weren't going to let him in the arena. They didn't want to let him play there. And so that's why they sent him packing, because they wanted a cut of all the concessions and everything like that. And the Coyotes said, no,
Bro.
bro.
They
Bro.
should have been built in Mesa from the start,
No,
bro.
they shouldn't, dude.
Dude, yes.
Nobody wants to go to Mesa. Tempe's one thing. Nobody wants to go to Mesa.
It sounds like you guys
The
don't need
majority
hockey
of
when
their
you're at. It's too
fans,
warm
the
for
majority
hockey.
of their fans are rich white neighborhoods.
So
bro.
they would go to Scottsdale then, because rich white people aren't living in Mesa.
Scottsdale
Sorry to tell you.
to
Very
Mesa
true.
is a 15-minute drive, bro.
Scottsdale is where they would be. Scottsdale is where they should go.
But they're going to Tempe. They were supposed to be where
They're going to go to
where-
Tempe because it's a college town, and it's where all the land is.
they were going to be where the Chicago Cubs arena is. And they can't, and they lost out on that because Glendale made them a more attractive offer, and they were shit ever since. Even in the playoff years, dude.
They're going to be shit regardless, dude. That's the problem with the Coyotes. They're always going to be shit because they should always ship away their best players.
I remember when they announced the Glendale arena and people were saying, what the fuck are you doing? It was headlines across ESPN about how stupid it was that they were building it in Glendale.
Guess what? Here's the sad fact of it, Lance. If they are winners, people will go see them no matter where their stadium is. But the problem is they're not winners.
Our playoff year, when we
They're
had
losers.
Shane Doan,
Our-
they had
Our
a
playoff year, they did a good sales in Glendale. Like I said, people
They
came
sold
because
out
they
in the
were
playoffs, but they were not selling out in the middle of the week, dude. They were not selling out in the middle
They
of the week. Max and I went their playoff year,
When-
saw them play the Senators
What
in
year
the
was that?
stadium. Maybe like 11 or 12.
Because my parents have season tickets and they would go all the time. So
Dude, the
Like, the
stadium was
Coyotes are
half
just
full, and
garbage.
they made the playoffs that year.
yeah, that's great, but they probably just snuck in and they got bounced in the first round, just like the COVID year. They got lucky to get in when they were in the Dome in Canada and got bounced in the second round. Like, the Coyotes are not good. If the Coyotes were good, people
They
would
would-
come watch them no matter where their
But
stadium
you remember
is.
during the COVID years, I'm pretty sure is when they were purchased by the NHL, when they were still owned by
No,
the NHL.
They were sold. I believe they were sold already by that point. They had the investment group, and then that investment group sold them again. So,
I don't know.
but I'm just saying, if
Sounds like you guys need
the
a better
Coyotes
football
were a
team.
winner, people would go watch them no matter where their stadium is.
You need
It's
a
not
lot
at
of
the
better
Suns.
teams in Arizona.
Dude, the Suns were still selling out games even when they weren't making the playoffs, bro.
I'm
The
just saying.
Suns were still selling out games
But they
because
were a
they're
good team back in the day. That's why.
Yeah, look at the Cardinals, dude. People still They still just about sell out every Sunday Cardinals
Yeah,
game.
but you go there and it's half full of other people's jerseys, bro. So you can't use that. You can't
That's
use
because
that
the
as an
team
argument.
sucks. That goes for my point.
Even in
It's
the
because
years that
the
they were
team
good,
sucks.
bro. Even in that Super Bowl year, Max and I used to go to at least one game every year.
You and Max just
And
go
it'd
to
be-
every sports team the year they're winning. They're
I've
playing
been
to
to
go
more-
to the playoffs, huh?
No, we used to go to a Cardinals game since like 2009. I think we went every single year up until when the tickets started being way.
Which
Not
playoff year?
affordable.
The year they went to the playoff with Kurt Warner, or the other playoff year where they got
Kurt
shit
Warner
on by
was
the
09.
Panthers?
Kurt Warner was 09.
Yeah, we went every year up until probably 19. No, when he moved to Colorado is when we stopped going.
But it's a 2-hour drive for you though, and you don't want to drive out here for games.
Yeah, but it's on a Sunday in the middle of the day, dude. It's a lot more manageable.
If your team's good, you play
anyways,
night games.
Still, my point is if they were good and winning, people would go see them no matter where their stadium is.
Yeah,
So-
I don't agree. I don't agree whatsoever.
Okay.
They were kicking ass when we saw them with the Senators, and the fucking stadium was half full, bro.
One game. You're going off one game.
On a
What was the
Tuesday night.
What was the rest of their season? Like, most people don't do things on Tuesday night because they got to work.
That's what I'm saying,
Like your
dude.
Tuesday night argument.
The
Like when
majority
you
of
go
their
on a
fans are
Saturday,
East
when you go on a
Valley.
but that's not
We're
going to
talking
change.
too long about this. We need to change the subject.
That's
Let's
not going
move
to
on.
change either. I guarantee you, because you
Disagree.
even on a Tuesday night, people who live right by the stadium won't go because it's a
They
Tuesday
might go
night.
for half the game, but
They're going to the Suns games. They were going to the Suns games when we were bottom of the barrel, dude. We won 17 games one year, and they were still selling out their games.
I tell you,
Because the Suns are always a talked about team. That's why. Even when they're bad, nobody cares about the Coyotes.
the Red Sox sell out when they were bad. You know, they did for years. So I just think it comes down to winning. Chicago Bulls will sell out, or did sell out. They were winning, and I'm sure people still go to see a Bulls game on a Tuesday night or Wednesday night just because it's the
Guess
Bulls.
what? The Red Wings are shit, but I bet you they probably still sell out their games.
Yep. It's the history of the team. That's the difference.
Exactly.
I truly think if they build a new stadium,
If they build
they'll
it,
be
they
able
will
to turn
come.
around. They'll turn it around, bro.
I don't.
I truly think
A stadium doesn't
every
make a team better.
that's not true, bro. Every
A stadium plays
the Cardinals-
games, right? A
the Cardinals
stadium
were
makes the
shit.
teams better.
The Cardinals, yeah, dude. If they get
The
new
Cardinals were
facilities,
still shit when they moved into University of Phoenix Stadium.
no, they made the playoffs. What, 5 years later?
One time,
They
two
made the- got to the
times
Super
since
Bowl.
they've been there.
But bro, they never made the playoffs when they played at ASU.
That doesn't mean anything. The team changes. The team gets better. Players get swapped in and out. It has
No,
nothing to do with
bro.
the stadium.
They're able to attract
that's
better
like saying
players.
that Lambeau
Dude,
Field is the
dude,
reason why the
stop
Packers have
interrupting
won
me.
so many Super Bowls. Oh
Bro,
my god, dude!
They're able to attract more better free agents with better facilities. There's a track record, dude. Like, look at what the Cardinals did. The Suns fucking poured millions of dollars into their stadium, are able to attract better free agents, and now making the playoffs every year. There's a fucking track record. I listen to
It's
fucking
the
sports radio
players.
every fucking morning.
So do I.
watch-
It's the players. It has nothing to do with.
why
the
would a
stadium. The
player
stadium doesn't
why
win
would a
games.
player a good free agent want to come to the Cardinals when they're playing at ASU Stadium?
It also
Practice
has to do
facilities
with the
were shit.
location.
Training facilities were
of the
shit.
team. It also has to do with the location of the team. People want to come here because, in the wintertime, it's still warm here. That's why people don't want to go to Green Bay, because there's nothing there.
Dude,
There's
we
nothing to
couldn't
do.
get anybody.
That's why people want to go to Miami. That's why people want to go, to New York. It's just. Oh my god! All right, we're moving on. We're done.
All right. 20 minutes on hockey.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hockey. All right.
Darth Lopez, the Cubs always sell out. Yes, because Wrigley Field is fucking legendary, man. Matt's argument is Dirty Dancing. Lance's argument is Dirty Dancing Havana Nights. Enough said. Lance is right over there feverishly looking for an article to try and prove himself right. I don't really care. I'm just saying, if I don't think the Coyotes being in the East Valley is going to change anything until they start winning. Until they start stop getting rid of players and stop getting rid of players for draft picks that aren't turning into anything. No matter where they play, it's not going to make a difference.
Yep.
Because people here just aren't that big into hockey.
Nope. You need a winning team.
Exactly.
Need to start the history, but
we even had Wayne Gretzky as a player coach. We had Wayne Gretzky, Jackie mooning it up over here.
We sucked when Wayne Gretzky was here. He was an awful coach. Awful.
He was a player coach, damn it. He was like Jackie
too.
Moon. Whoa. You don't call the great one an awful player.
Lemieux was the best.
Shit. Jaromir Jagr, son.
That's right. Both of those guys, the tandem, the mullet tandem of the 90s. So are we talking about Mario today? Someone just said they saw Mario.
We're not.
We've seen it Tuesday.
I haven't seen Mario yet. Derp Entertainment. It's a me, a Mario. Oh, all right. Let's get into the geek news here.
Geek news.
Is that louder than normal, or is my shit just like cranked way up?
It was quite loud, but it didn't deafen me yet.
Lemieux literally means the best.
It's very true.
All right.
Very true. Great man.
Starting off our geek news. In a recent interview with Comic Book, Grillo confirmed he's working with DC, citing his disappointing experience as Brock Rumlow, aka Crossbones, as part of his reasoning for joining the studio. I think Crossbones serves a purpose, but I think it's interesting thing is that if you see how many people around the world have responded to Crossbones, and again he's on the screen for a very fucking short amount of time, I think there's more there. I think there was more meat on the bone. I was disappointed in which is why I went to DC. Who cares about Crossbones?
I don't.
Nobody.
I didn't even know that's who he was, and I never checked the credits. I just figured he was.
Can you tell that that's my hand?
No, I can't
No.
tell that's your hand.
That's my hand.
Nice.
Strategically pointed at Matt's face. Look at that.
Yeah. Not really on my screen. It's kind of more like in the middle of you and JP.
Yeah, that's fucked up, Lance. What I ever do to you?
Giving JP the finger.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking care about Crossbones. I don't think anybody cares about Crossbones. He wants.
This sounds more like that a Jared Leto, like, oh well, I could have done so much more with the Joker if they would have let me, or my performance of the Joker was so great, it's just all on the cutting room floor.
But here's the difference between that. The Joker, we actually want to see news stories about the Joker. Who the fuck cares about Crossbones?
Right. Jones Doolin says, wow, an actor is mad that they mid-roll in a cash machine and got wrote out. Yep.
I think Marvel's smart. Like Marvel, it took them however many years to make a Black Widow movie, which wasn't good. I know it's a bad argument, but it took them however many years to make a Black Widow movie, and nobody even cared about that. So why the fuck would they care about Crossbones?
Well, they brought him back in for Endgame. So the fact that his character even made it into the biggest movie of all time, or one of the biggest Marvel movies of all time, says something. I mean,
yeah,
be happy about that. Move on.
To get punked in Endgame.
Well, he was still back into it. I'm just saying it.
Yeah.
He was a useless character. They wouldn't have brought him back into it, but they brought a lot of guys. A lot of people made cameos back in it just to finish out the arc. So I thought, if he wasn't a meaningful character, they wouldn't have done it. So move on to DC.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The fact of the matter is, I just don't think he's that charismatic of a guy. So, like, he's a background character. He's a background actor. Like, what movies has he led that have done well? He's not an A-list actor. So he himself is not even that like drawing, I guess. Like I don't know the word I'm looking for. He's not. I don't know. Whatever.
I couldn't even tell you what movie he's done. He's led.
He did one movie. I didn't know who the heck he was. He didn't look like he did from the Endgame movie. He had long hair. It was some type of assassin movie. And they said Grillo. I was like, am I supposed to know this guy Grillo? And they kept saying his like it meant something.
Boss Level?
What is it?
Boss Level? Is that what you're talking about?
Could be. I don't know. Some assassin movie and looked pretty good, but I never saw it. But they made it sound like he was headlining it. And
I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm just saying that he's not like that gravitating as a like when you put him in a boat against fucking like Ryan Reynolds or something like that, people are gonna go see Ryan Reynolds movies. Like no one's going lining up seeing Frank Grillo movies.
Well,
Most of his movies are on Netflix.
Maybe the role, maybe it's not the right role, but I'm just saying it. That's the way they did a lot of people dirty in Marvel. It's to bitch about it after the fact. I mean, if anyone's seen the most recent Star Wars movie, a lot of A-list actors made their face into it, and A-list music people made their face into it. So, I mean, to be part of that, part of that world that universe is pretty good one way or the other. I think someone should be happy they're part of it and then use it to get themselves to the next level. And maybe DC is it for him.
Yeah, I agree. I just kind of look at him the same way I kind of view Anthony Mackie. Like, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Anthony Mackie's done things that I like, and Frank Grillo's done some things that I hear Cop Shop is a good movie with him in it. And that might be the one you're talking about, Cop Shop.
Yeah.
But he's just, no one's lining up to see Frank Grillo movies.
I mean, I've seen a lot of the movies he's been in, but I don't even remember him being in them. Like, I know he was in The Purge, the 2013 Purge.
I haven't even watched any of the Purges.
I totally forgot he's in Warrior. I know he's in Captain America, Civil War, and Winter Soldier. I forgot he was in The Gray with Liam Neeson. I love the movie End of Watch.
Oh, that's the one with Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah,
Gyllenhaal and dude from Ant-Man. What's his name?
Yeah.
Can I say that's what I think is Michael Pena? Pena. I think that's what's missing from Quantum Mania. No Michael Pena.
That was a big miss.
He's like, so I was talking to my cousin, right?
As Luis.
All right, so what do we I think Grillo, he'll be DC somewhere and maybe reprises.
Yeah, they're just gonna make him the Crossbones of DC. What character would that be?
I wouldn't be surprised, if he was Slade Wilson. If he was Deathstroke.
No, they already have Joe Manganiello.
Well, they're saying
anymore.
that he's
right.
It doesn't say it in this thing, but he's joining Creature Commandos.
Oh, is he? Creature Commandos I thought was an animated series.
Let me look up the article that we pulled this from, because
so is he voicing somebody then?
I guess. I don't know. But Creature Commando, like, isn't animation also supposed to be part of the universe too? So he could do dual.
It's all connected, and people who voice they did say people who voice in the cartoons are going to play that character in live action too, but I just know Creature Commandos was I figured it'd be Slade Wilson, but
I think Joe Manganiello would be better.
Yeah, dude, I thought that was a good casting, but whatever. He looked awesome.
They fucked all that up.
This article, we pulled this from MSN. Yeah, and he's rumored role in the upcoming Creature Commandos. That's what it says. So
cool. So you're bitching about playing Crossbones and bragging about going to leave DC to do voiceover work? Nice.
I think it's going to be dual, though. I think you're going to get voiceover, and which I don't understand, but animation, I guess, is cheaper to make. So
takes longer.
They'll take over for Manu
takes
Bennett
longer.
And be the new Slade Wilson.
But I don't think you pay. Do you pay? I wonder, do performers get paid as much to do animated movies as they do live action?
I don't know. Ask Chris Pratt. There's a reason he decided to go be Mario.
Mario. John Bernthal.
Poor man's John Bernthal.
Oh yeah, I'd much rather see a John Bernthal movie. That guy's awesome. But John Bernthal has something about him that kind of it's charisma, is what I'm saying. Frank Grillo lacks the
Charm,
charisma
as Rohan would say.
Yeah, charm. But
I'm lacking that apparently.
I've known that from like day one.
Yeah, no one cares.
Goddamn
All right, what's next?
Yinzer. Harry Potter.
Mr. Bean.
A new Harry Potter HBO Max series is in development, but rather than continue the story or focus on an entirely different set of characters, the show will serve as a full reboot of the popular movies. Though nothing has been officially announced, the project is expected to readapt the source novels, with each season dictated to one of the 7 books. Though author J.K. Rowling will most likely not be involved as the showrunner, she will be on hand to ensure it remains loyal to her original material. Why? Why do we need to retell the Harry Potter stuff?
It just feels like I was watching a TikTok where somebody was talking about this, and she goes, "Well, you know that it was 20 years ago that the first one came out," and I'm like, that still doesn't feel like enough time has passed. Like they've talked about remaking Back to the Future, and that doesn't feel like there's enough time has passed. They've talked about, I don't know. It's just fucking.
They remade Ghostbusters, and that didn't work.
I loved it. Well, wait, hold on.
Wait, the girl one did not work.
Female one, or
yeah, the reboot did not work. The sequel or the third movie, I guess, worked.
That was Paul Feig, and Paul Feig didn't understand the source material.
So when Paul Rudd was in the show, that made a difference. So if you expanded upon the Harry Potter, I never cared for Harry Potter, but expand upon the universe as opposed to retelling it. I never thought a movie when they retell, like Total Recall, wasn't that good when they redid it. I mean, any movie that, Point Break was, when they remade it, was that as good as the first one? They never are.
Fuck no, it was trash. The last movie I can think of that was remade that was, I think, better if that was as good, if not better than the original, is True Grit. The True Grit with
Star is Born was a huge success.
That one's good too. Yes, that one's good too. But True Grit with got Liam, not Liam Neeson, but goddamn Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. But that was Coen Brothers, right? Coen Brothers did that movie.
Well, what was the difference in time between the two movies? Because A Star is Born was what?
Well, the original was fucking John Wayne as Rooster Cogburn. There's one.
When you have that
True
much time,
Grit original movie came out in 1969.
Okay, so you have what? 40 years?
2010 for the remake.
So what is that? 40 years?
Yeah.
When you have a whole new generation, I think you can remake a movie. When Red Dawn, they remade that one. That was stupid.
Trash.
The first one was awesome. I mean,
you had The Parent Trap, which the new one did pretty well with Lindsay Lohan, and I don't think that much time passed between those two. So sometimes it works, but it just, when it's something as beloved as this.
Well, the original Parent Trap was 1961. The remake was 1998.
Yeah.
So you have, there's just certain things that, I mean, I don't know. Harry Potter is beloved by many people. Now I have seen,
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're not gonna make it with Mr. Bean, are they?
Did you also notice I stole the reboot logo from Jay and Silent Bob?
Yeah.
What was I saying? The one thing I have heard is that fans of the books that were not fans of the movies are excited about this, because in the movies, apparently they leave a bunch of shit out, and this gives them the opportunity to really focus on a solid book adaptation. If it's one season per book, that gives you a chance to get into some of these other story modes. I'm not excited about it. I truly think that it's going to be, kind of wokenized, I guess. And this is
this is what I think of when I think of a Harry Potter reboot.
There he is, beating that dead horse.
Well, and my thing is like they came out with a Fantastic Beasts that they didn't even adapt all those. Like that failed miserably.
Well, and it helps. Didn't one of the stars get caught up in? A lot of the stars in that movie got caught up in fucking the Me Too stuff. So
Did
and then Ezra Miller, Johnny Depp, they're all caught up in all of that. And then the last one that they put out bombed, so they were like, "All right, we're done here."
Well, Ezra Miller, was he even in the second one? Because I thought he dies in the first one. Johnny Depp's not in the second one.
Yeah, and it just bombed. They bombed. Like the last one did terrible at the box office, so they're not gonna keep going.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
what basically
I don't know
they saw how good Hogwarts Legacy did, and now they're trying to cash in on that because Hogwarts Legacy just made them.
Yeah, but I mean that's different. Like to play the game, to put yourself in the role is one thing. To retell the books is another. I don't know. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of the Harry Potter reboot. Are you excited for it? Not excited for it? Will you watch it, or are you going to remain a original movie loyalist? Moving on, we had Star Wars Celebration today, and we got a lot of news from Star Wars Celebration. Our first up was the announcement and a trailer for Star Wars Acolyte that was shown, which that's a sweet ass picture, by the way, for disassemble.
I'm pretty sure it's a fan. I'm pretty sure it's a fan
badass.
thing. Yeah, I thought it was pretty. Not a lot of them were cool. This is the only one that I could find that was cool. I have no idea what this is about.
Yeah, so per Variety, the footage was unveiled as part of the Star Wars Celebration 2023. It was shown exclusively to the in-attendance audience. The description provided emphasizes the Acolyte's battle scenes and the nature of power. The footage includes shots of a Jedi temple, Carrie-Anne Moss, and a fight with Amidala Steinberg that recalled the former Matrix performance, a golden lightsaber, and a pivotal shot at the end with a group of Jedis lighting up their lightsabers in unison. Reads the provided rundown. This is about power and who's allowed to use it, is the accompanying quote. So
what's it about?
So Star Wars Acolyte is going to be set in the High Republic era. So if you're reading like the current Star Wars High Republic stuff, the High Republic stuff from Marvel and IDW, it's probably going to touch a lot on that.
High Republic is pre
Skywalker. Yeah, pre Skywalker,
like 2,000 years before or something.
Yeah, something like that. And so
different
now
than the Old Republic, like Knights of the Old Republic, it's different, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, not much.
Will Carrie-Anne Moss be wearing the leather suit again from Matrix?
Joe Doolin says, I have faith in Headland as the showrunner. I like her work on Russian Doll. Yeah, I wish we could have seen it, the actual footage from it, but like you said, it was all in attendance stuff, so we don't know much more about stuff from the Acolyte. And I think it comes out. I want to say it came out. Did they release put an announcement for a release date on it? I can't remember.
No, this is a movie, right?
No, this is a Disney Plus show, I think.
Yeah, it's Disney Plus. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to figure out when it comes out.
I want to say I thought it was later this year.
It just says 2024.
Oh, okay, so next year. Okay.
Yeah, filming began in October 2022.
Let us know in the comment section below if you're excited by the Acolyte and what your theories on what the show will be about.
Do you think maybe they'll release the trailer on May 4th?
Maybe.
Yeah,
it's a good possibility.
Yeah, we got another piece of Star Wars news on the next slide.
Yeah, moving on to damn, that droid is thick.
You like that one?
Break the internet with Force Awakens. Yes. Also announced at Star Wars Celebration this morning, a trio of movies will span a time period of 5,000 years, stretching across multiple eras of the galaxy far, far away. While details are still slim on these, is already titled Dawn of the Jedi and will be directed by. Hold on. While details are still slim, one of these is already titled Dawn of the Jedi and will be directed by James Mangold. While a specific release date has yet to be revealed, Lucasfilms confirmed that it was aiming for a December 2025 release date. As for the others in development projects, Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie will act as a climactic event that will serve as a major crossover for The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka. The third movie will be helmed by Shareem Abdib Chanoy. I butchered the shit out of that. I apologize. We'll follow Rey once again, played by Daisy Ridley, as she attempts to establish a new Jedi Order. Okay. So
I thought we were not going to do like Skywalker movies anymore. Like, why are they doing a Daisy Ridley movie?
Because she's awesome.
Essentially, they're fucking remaking. They're gonna remake The Last Jedi again. Like, that's essentially what it was. Because in The Last Jedi, dude. Okay. Whatever. I'm excited for that. Like, we'll see what they do with the Daisy Ridley stuff.
The best
The
one
James
should be
Mangold
the
stuff
one
is
one.
interesting because it's supposed to be set like way before the original movies and the Skywalker stuff, and it's supposed to be like he's calling it like a biblical epic. Like it's before, way before, it predates anything Star Wars, even the New Republic stuff. So
It's supposed to be the beginning of the Jedi or something, right?
yeah, it's like the beginning of the Force, even. Or
What I will say is the fact that it's James Mangold gives me a little bit of hope that it won't just be a Return of the Jedi ripoff.
Do you have a new hope for that?
I didn't even catch that when I said it. Dun-dun-dun.
JP will be here all night, folks.
All night.
It's what did James Mangold just do? Well, he's doing Indiana Jones. It's coming up.
He did Wolverine, or Logan.
Yeah, but he did 4V Ferrari, right?
Oh, that was a good movie. I just saw that.
That was a good movie. Yeah.
But
yeah,
he did Walk the Line. Like, he produced Ford v Ferrari. Sorry, I just.
Well, put it this way: for that type of a storyline, the Mandalorian did so well because it wasn't related. It was related, but it wasn't, and that's
310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma.
So,
that's a great movie.
You take something so far in the past that you have no bearing on Jar Jar Binks. I think you can do, if you do it well. I think it can be a good. I think it'll be a good movie. Just because they have nothing to have to worry about.
So he did direct Ford vs Ferrari. He directed and produced it.
Oh, I just saw the producer credit. I just now see the director credit.
And then he's directing the Swamp Thing movie. He's writing and directing the Swamp Thing movie for James Gunn's DC universe.
Will Adrian Barbeau be in that movie?
I do not know.
But he's a good director, man. I mean, if you look at his track record, I mean, A Girl Interrupted, Copland, Walk the Line, 310 to Yuma, Logan, Ford v Ferrari. Like, those are some really good. Kate and Leopold. Is that the one where it's Hugh Jackman? He goes back in time, or he goes forward in time.
Yes,
he's like a
with him and Meg Ryan.
Yeah. Anna loves that movie. I'm all right. She loves it, but whatever. But the fact of the matter is that he usually writes his movies as well, right?
Yeah, so there's only 4 movies he's done that he didn't write. He did not write Identity. He did not write 310 to Yuma. He did not write The Wolverine. He did not write Ford vs Ferrari.
But I know Girl Interrupted is like a pretty celebrated movie. Logan is one of my favorite comic book movies ever adapted.
The only movies he's done that were nominated for Academy Awards are Logan was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, and Ford vs Ferrari was nominated for Best Picture.
Ford v Ferrari is surprisingly good.
It is. I watch it every time it's on like HBO or something, and I see it. I'll watch it.
I remember when it was announced, I said, "This shit is stupid." Now it makes me want to go see the Michael Jordan shoe movie.
Oh, dude, I'm hearing that's great. I've heard a lot of good reviews about it.
But when I saw the trailer, I said, "Who the fuck decided to make this movie?"
Well, like, look at Tetris, dude. Like,
Tetris was great.
It was like, who would have thought that a fucking movie based on the Tetris video? When you first hear that, you're like, how do you do that? Like, it's so stupid. Like, it's just a bunch of blocks that you try to fit together. It's so good.
That's on Apple TV, dude. Watch it. I had no idea there was so much shit that went down in the pursuit of that game. Like with like KGB and fucking the Giselle Maxwell's father. You know who is it? Giselle Maxwell. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Well, yeah, it was like a conflict of like
that's
going
Epstein's
on
girlfriend
during the fucking Cold War.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude. And Taron Egerton, who doesn't like Taron Egerton?
He's gonna be Wolverine.
He probably is,
but
he's still saying he has not talked to Marvel, and I think that's a bunch of bullshit.
Tetris was a very under the radar good movie, man.
Yeah, and they just announced. I should have put that in here actually. Apple TV's coming out with a comedy with Jonah Hill and Keanu Reeves. Jonah Hill's writing and directing it, and it's starring Keanu Reeves.
Interesting. Are they gonna CGI a kiss with him and Keanu?
I have no idea.
So that's that's an odd couple.
Yeah,
very odd couple.
Well, it's the decade of Keanu, dude. Like, if you think back, like the
real Renaissance man.
Yeah, the last few years, like he's had a resurgence in his career.
Well, think about him and Brendan Fraser. Both had a resurgence, big in the 90s, came back now. It's pretty good.
Brendan Fraser's is just starting, I think.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, with The Whale, it's kind of on that slope. I haven't heard of him like being cast in anything else.
Well, he was Firefly in the canceled Batgirl movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters if he gets cast in anything else. I think the fact that he won the award, right, for that movie. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment for somebody who was out of it.
But when you talk about a resurgence, like it's gonna be him. Like Keanu Reeves, like he's in a movie and it's gonna do well. Like that's just Brendan Fraser needs to get to that point to really call it a resurgence.
Someone was talking about bringing back
can't wait for
Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze in the upcoming Batman Matt Reeves Batman movie. And I was just
guy's age.
I was thinking at some point, just like they say in Batman, either you live long enough to become the villain or you die the good guy. Like I probably butchered that quote, but essentially Schwarzenegger doesn't have the draw anymore, right? So Keanu has it again, but it won't last. I mean, that's the way life is. So eventually at some point you go out on top, and maybe Frazier, if he's out and that's his last movie, he went out on top, and Keanu.
I don't think it's
you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
There you go. Thank you. Perfect.
He's got 4 movies coming out. Well, actually,
it doesn't mean they'll do. I hope they do good. I like Keanu. He's a great. No,
I'm talking about Brendan Fraser.
Oh, okay. Well then,
one of those 4 movies is listed as Batgirl. Is upcoming.
Jerome Bettis left after the Super Bowl. Ray Lewis did. Tom Brady should have left after his last Super Bowl. No reason to keep playing, man. Just take the win and go.
One of the movies he has apparently coming out this year, Killers of the Flower Moon, is directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and him.
Is that a sequel to Vanilla Sky? What kind of a fucking title is that?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
What the hell?
Jesse Plemons, John Lithgow. Like, this is a pretty awesome cast, actually.
I have a sneaking suspicion. I wonder if it's like about a dude who like kills young women or something.
I'm gonna be a dude who plays on a dude.
Member of the Osage tribe in the United States are murdered under mysterious circumstances in the 1920s, sparking a major FBI investigation involving J. Edgar Hoover.
Way off.
So it sounds super ridiculous.
But yes, I agree with Lance. I think the renaissance of Brendan Fraser is just starting. Like
they're calling it a renaissance. Like there's a name for it. A renaissance. I've seen it on several articles.
Nice. I hope it does. I thought I enjoyed him in the 90s and Encino Man and what was the School Ties and The Mummy. So I'm glad he's making a comeback. I hope.
You didn't like Bedazzled
For Elizabeth Hurley, yes. For Brendan
or
Fraser, no.
Monkey Bone?
I don't even. Monkey Bone was awesome. Blast from the Past was great. I like that movie. And in fact,
You didn't like Airheads, man? Like his all-time.
Airheads
Oh,
is
yeah,
awesome. But Airheads is like one of his first movies, right?
Yeah,
Like that's at the beginning of because that's older than Encino Man.
Movie.
It's no, it's not. Encino Man came first. So he did Children of the Darkness in 91, Dogfight 91, Encino Man was 92, Son-in-Law. Apparently he was in Son-in-Law uncredited in 93, and then he was in Airheads in 94, and then in Army Now in 94. He was in like every Pauly Shore movie. He was always in there with the Weasel.
Yeah, Weasel sipping the juice.
Then in George of the Jungle was 97. Gods and Monsters 99. Dudley Do-Right 99. Bedazzled was 2000. Monkey Bone was 2001.
His career kind of goes in a lull after the third Mummy movie, I think.
He was in apparently I forgot he was in Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah, that movie was shit. That was bad. Yeah, he was in G.I. Joe, Rise of the Like if you look at his like movies from like 2008 on, like Furry Vengeance, G.I. Joe, fucking let me see, Pawn Shop Chronicles. I don't know.
Like they say he left Hollywood, but I mean, from looking at his IMDb, he's doing stuff straight on. Like when did
he never stopped. He never stopped, but he wasn't like a lot of the large studios weren't hiring him because he said that the president of the Screen Actors Guild or something like that, like sexually assaulted him.
Yeah.
So he was kind of blacklisted. So he was still doing some stuff, but they're small. They're small little things.
It does the Grillo treatment. That was a problem. He was treated.
Yeah,
like
a lot
Grillo.
of these are like straight to video. You know, the kind of that you see at Blockbuster, straight to video, like no theatrical.
What's Blockbuster?
It is this place in a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away where you used to go and pay people physical money to read DVDs for a certain amount of time.
It's like a red
VHS. VHS is what I rented from that place.
Okay, rent VHS.
Did you guys ever go to the
time?
section?
And then if you did not rewind it when you returned it, you get charged an additional fee.
$2.
$2.
Did you ever go to the section Wild Action at Blockbuster?
I didn't go to Blockbuster. I was a frequenter of Family Video.
Oh, we went to Blockbuster. And...
we had Hollywood Video.
Oh yeah, we had that. Starflix. We had that.
That sounds like a strip club.
I thought it was
they had
too.
porn in the back. They had porn in the back room.
Did Pee Wee Herman get arrested at Starflix?
Right.
I remember when I joined Starflix, the guy was telling me how much the movies were, and he said the new releases are $2.99, the old movies are 99 cents, and the pornographic movies or whatever, the adult movies were $4, and he didn't even finish saying how much they were, and I was back there. I was like, all right, I didn't know you had those in here. So
yeah,
come to all you can eat wing Fridays at
Blockbuster
Starflix.
and Hollywood Video. They didn't have the adult section, did they?
They had Wild Action. That was what it was called. Because that
was it behind a curtain?
It was like Andy Sedaris movies. You know Andy Sedaris?
I don't think they had that out here,
Russ
dude.
Meyer.
Maybe they had at the ones you're like out by you, but I don't think they had those out here at Blockbuster in Hollywood.
At Family Video, they always had a section that either had beads,
to
block off the porn section, or it had like the swinging like Western.
They weren't porn; they were just R-rated movies. They were Andy Sedaris and Russ Meyer movies. And my buddy, we all went in there the one day, and he was like, "We need to find a movie that has naked chicks and guns." And the guy was like, "Wild Action," and we're like, "All right."
Yeah, they might have had that, but like I remember the Family Video. Was it Family Video, Matt?
Suncoast Video.
Yeah.
Suncoast was in the mall. I remember Suncoast.
They had the videos in the back.
Suncoast is essentially like Hot Topic, but for movies. Like I remember they had a bunch of like movie memorabilia and stuff in there too.
Well, they were like FYE before FYE, weren't they?
Yeah. Which FYE, I don't even know how it's still around. They closed
I just
most
did
of
one
them.
yesterday.
Were you? I think there's only one. There used to be a ton here, and I think there's only one at Arizona Mills now.
I just think it's a perspective thing. Like they want you to, the industry wants you to forget about physical media and go to digital, but a lot of people still crave physical media.
I was looking for a Blu-ray of Dogma at FYE.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
but you're not gonna find that.
I know. I was
Yeah.
just telling my son. I said, if you ever find a Blu-ray Dogma, get it.
There's 3 stores now in Arizona of FYE, and there used to be a shit ton. I can think of at least 5 that have closed down. But all right, what's next?
Moving on here. Jack Black recently spoke with the BBC about his appearance in the Super Mario
Big
Brothers
Back Buck.
movie and the video game adaptations in general. He discussed the success of HBO's The Last of Us, stated that the iconic game series Red Dead Redemption deserves its own high-end adaptation. Maybe there's going to be a Red Dead Redemption movie. There should be, stated Black, before claiming that the Rockstar Studio game has a just as good, if not even better storyline than The Last of Us. And I saw a comment in the chat earlier from Sprocket45 who said, like, what does the title of the stream mean? So the title of the stream means exactly this, is with the success of Super Mario. Well, we'll get on to it. Well, we'll get into that. Hold on, because there's other movies, video game movies coming out too. We'll come back to this one real quick. So we'll incorporate this. Street Fighter. It's been announced that Legendary Entertainment has secured an exclusive licenses to live action film and television rights for the iconic Capcom video game franchise, Street Fighter. So this brings us to the main topic of the show here is, are video game movies set to blow up and finally release the stranglehold that comic book movies have over the industry? So what I mean by that is, if you go to the movie theater in a year, you see 4 Marvel movies, however many DC movies, if they don't keep pushing them, and whatever like off the wall Disney Plus shows that come out, or like or shows on other streaming networks like HBO Max or The Boys. Like, are we seeing the video game renaissance as far as adaptations go? Because before, it used to be a joke where video game adaptations were always looked at as a joke, like they're going to be terrible. If you look at something like the original Mortal Kombat, the original
Which I loved as a
Fighter
kid.
movie, there's so many more, like the Resident Evil franchise, so on and so forth. Just there's so many video game adaptations. The original Super Mario Brothers movie. But
Which
now
Seth
you look
Rogen
at
just came out and said is the worst movie ever made.
Yeah, I agree with him. But now you look at it, and it's like, okay, you have the success of Sonic 1 and 2, both massive movies. Super Mario is just coming out, and that's fan-wise. I thought they were set to make like $101 billion opening weekend.
$101 billion.
I don't know if that's right, but they were supposed to hit some astronomical number.
I guarantee they're not making $101 billion.
No, probably not. That's
Everybody would
way
have to
over-exaggerated,
see the
but-
movie 100 times. Oh, that's funny.
But-
It all started with Sonic, would you say? Like, Sonic kind of started the resurgence. And Sonic actually did us the benefit where they released the trailer. We all said, he looks so awful, we're not going to see this movie. Fixed him. So they realized that, oh, these video game things actually matter to the people that love them. Like, let's try to make something that's faithful to it.
Oh, sorry. 127.5 million over its 5-day opening weekend. So
I just spent $100 on freaking tickets. I'm taking my whole family and my sister's whole family. And we got a whole row blocked off in the movie theater for Tuesday afternoon.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Deadline
because
says
all
that
the
it's
kids
on-
want to see it.
So you're
Deadline
going.
says
Wait, you're
it's
going
on
on a
track to
Tuesday
make
afternoon.
195
Yeah, I took the
million.
day off work.
Oh, I'm gonna say because maybe you could go to a Penguin or a hockey game. You know,
I
so
knew
you
that
can.
was coming.
Oh,
Yeah, my daughter, who doesn't seem to like anything that I like, wants to see this movie. So it's kind of fucking weird.
I have no desire to see it. I probably will see it, but I just saw Top Gun today, so it may take me a year to see Mario. Even though I love playing the games, I just it's
Joe's Doolin said Sonic and Mario appeal to the kids as well as nostalgic adults. Most kids' movies suck eggs lately. It's a gap that needs to be filled.
it's a good point. You have to be able to draw them all in.
Speaking of a gap,
I
needs to
liked
be
Turning
filled.
Red. I liked it. Strange World wasn't that good. I can't think of really.
What about Resident Evil? I didn't think that was great. It was good, but not great. It's just
Well, Resident Evil, like, it didn't make the money I don't think that Sonic did, but it made enough to like keep justifying.
Well-
how many of those movies did they make? Like 7 of them?
yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't good. They were just like
Good enough.
Well, think
Yeah.
about something. You had Superman in the 70s that made a name for superhero movies, and you didn't have much of anything else until Batman. Marvel really never had a good movie till 2000's Spider-Man, and then that had a little renaissance, and then that sort of went away until Iron Man came out. So,
Didn't
between the
X-Men come out before Spider-Man?
Spider-Man was 2000. About everything they were at the same time, but
I want to say that Spider-Man was 2003, wasn't it?
no, it's 2000. It was right after September 11th. It was 2001.
Oh, you're right, because it was.
Oh, they were right. They had to change the trailer. Do you guys remember that original trailer?
Had
No,
the tower.
Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man was 2022 or not 2022, 2002.
Yeah, it came out right after the towers, and then
I think it got
the X-Men-
delayed.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if
X-Men
They
came
really
out in
had-
2000.
so, you finally had that renaissance at that time, and then it took a few more years. I mean, even though they're making movies, there weren't really any good movies until, in my opinion, Iron Man, and then that set the Marvel Universe. So this Mario movie doesn't have to make as much as Avatar, but if it sets the tone for what you're saying here, that these video game movies will start to become cash cows, then that's the start. That's okay, because they'll get better from here. Just like Iron Man, I think that's still one of the best Marvel movies, and maybe Mario will be that, but if it sets the tone, because I mean, what else did you have? Resident Evil wasn't that great. Doom wasn't that good. Yeah, there were a lot of flops that came about. So
But I'm
Yeah,
talking
around that time, like Sonic kind of started this upward trajectory. Because Assassin's Creed came out before Sonic, right, Matt?
Yes.
Which was shit on, but they changed the source material quite a bit. But Sonic came out, and it's kind of been an upward trajectory since then. I mean, what's come out since Sonic's come out as far as video
Last
game
of Us.
adaptation? Last of
Well,
Us, Sonic 2.
That's what I'm saying. And so,
Mario.
are we in an age of a video game adaptation renaissance? Because they knocked it out of the park with the 2 Sonic movies. They're on track to do it again with Mario. The Last of Us is an amazing movie, or amazing show.
Broke records for HBO Max, I think.
Yeah, so they're already announcing a God of War adaptation is coming. They announced that oh God, I can think of the main character's name, but I can't think of the name of the game.
Last
now.
Ronin.
No.
Did announce Last
It's a
Ronin.
PlayStation game. Well, the main character's name is Aloy. Or Aloy.
Oh, Horizon
Zero Dawn. Thank you. Horizon Zero Dawn show is coming. They're gonna give you more Super Mario movies. So it's just kind of like with all the
Borderlands
is coming. Yep. So there's so many video game movies. Like,
holy shit! I'm looking up a list right now of everything that's announced. Five Nights at Freddy's, Borderlands,
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Minecraft, Crossfire. I don't know what this one is, so I won't. Days Gone,
how do you-
Death Stranding, Dead by Daylight, Duke Nukem, Ghost of Tsushima, Jack and Daxter, Untitled Just Dance film, Metal Gear Solid,
That'd be
Mortal Kombat
awesome.
2, Pac-Man film,
Let me get these right now.
Rabbids,
I'm about
Return to
Metal Gear
Silent
Solid.
Hill, Saints Row.
What about
Space
Siphon
Invader,
Filter?
Street Fighter, Streets of Rage, Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, and Yakuza. That's what the list says here.
Dead by Daylight, yeah.
Portal's on here too.
So, and not to mention, you had Halo, the Halo show on Paramount Plus. So,
Which
I wanted to see that so bad, and it just didn't.
Halo didn't do that well, but if you remember, they deviated from the source material a lot. Like, I don't think Halo didn't have anywhere near the success that The Last of Us had. Now, mind you, it's on a smaller streaming platform. Like, wasn't that Paramount?
yeah,
But if you have the audience, they'll go see it. That's the thing. Is they just I wanted to watch it when it came out, and then I heard bad reviews, and then never got around to it. So,
Halo's one of the best selling
game
game franchises of all time. So, like, the audience is there, but people they
Right.
went and saw it, and Master Chief speaks, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, you can't even watch that movie for 10 minutes and be like, "Oh, they changed everything." Or show, excuse me.
But to go back to Jack Black's point, and now that, you know, I'm fully on board with what he's saying as far as Red Dead Redemption goes. Because if you adapt Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, you have a plethora of content for a long time.
I think it's Rockstar. I think that is the roadblock. Rockstar, like, if you look at all these movies that I named off, not a
Is that also your hand holding a hammer?
No, that's a picture I pulled off Google. Not a single one of these movies is a Rockstar property.
Well, they did
2K, Sega, Sony, Square Enix, Ubisoft, Konami, Warner Brothers, Bandai Namco, Capcom.
That's another one. The Castlevania series on Netflix, like, right off the video game, like, that's wildly popular too. So, I mean, do we see a world where all these movies come, or, you know, video game movies are starting to be made into adaptations and are on par with superhero movies and even outproducing them?
It depends, because I still think it's new enough to where if one of these studios takes a wrong turn, that it could reset the clock, right? Because Resident Evil, like we said, it was good enough, right? Resident Evil could have been that linchpin, but then you followed up Resident Evil with, let's see what comes out after the first Resident Evil. You've got House of the Dead, Doom, Blood Rain, Silent Hill, Hitman, Max Payne. That's the one with Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
Street Fighter, Tekken, Prince of Persia. That's the one with
Well, they made Street Fighter back in the 90s with Van Damme. That didn't.
Yes,
it was
it
kind
did.
of boring.
Prince of Persia with Gyllenhaal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Need for Speed. That's the one with Aaron Paul.
Yep.
None of these movies did well. Assassin's Creed in 2016. The new Tomb Raider, which I thought was actually pretty good, but no one went and saw it.
No, you can't take Julie out of it and redo it. It's too soon for a redo.
You could make the argument that this kind of, like, that Sonic wasn't the linchpin. Pokemon Detective Pikachu made more money than Sonic.
Didn't that come out after Sonic?
No, Pokemon Detective Pikachu came out
2019.
May 10th, 2019, and Sonic the Hedgehog came out in 2020. It made almost, what is that, 100 grand more? No, 100 million more. I couldn't tell if that was a decimal or a comma when I was reading it.
But I mean, like, yeah,
433 million to 319 million.
Like, just in the last couple of years, you've had, you know, like you said, Detective Pikachu in 2019, Sonic 1 in 2020. Then, Warcraft was kind of whatever. The new Tomb Raider wasn't bad. That was 2018. The new Mortal Kombat reboot.
Do you know
was
how much
2021.
Rampage made? Do you see that?
2016 I forgot about Rampage. Uncharted.
428 million. It made more than, is this opening weekend? No, this is worldwide box office. It made more than both Sonic movies and Pokemon. Rampage did.
It's because The Rock was in it.
Don't let Ish hear you say that, because he'll fucking flip out. I called The Rock A-list actor, and he didn't let it go for like 6 months. It was all leading up to Black Adam too, so I had to kind of sit there with my tail between my legs.
Yeah, he ruined both that movie and Shazam.
But even Uncharted did well. Well, they're making a sequel to it, right? They've announced a sequel to Uncharted.
I don't know if they have yet.
Well, I just went through the list of stuff that they're.
I think everyone's assuming that it's coming. I don't know if it's actually been announced yet.
Made a lot of money. It did not get a good critic score though, or Rotten Tomato score. 41%. Raccoon City, the Resident Evil movie, made 31%. Werewolves Within, I haven't even seen this. Had an 86%. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it has the potential to be big, but if they fuck up Borderlands and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Minecraft and all these movies, like if they don't do well or they don't get good reviews, you could start to see a slide.
It's a lot of content. It depends on how much comes out. Just like Marvel has, had too much content, people lose interest. So
Far Cry would be another good movie. The Far Cry series, there's some good stories in there, don't you think, Matt?
Yeah. But I think Red Dead,
Red Dead seems prime.
It'd be so good, especially on the kick everyone's on right now with what is it? Yellowstone, and then the prequel to Yellowstone, and now the prequel to the prequel of Yellowstone.
Wouldn't that be just phenomenal if they got Taylor Sheridan to write it? The Red Dead movie?
Yeah.
Because that guy gets like Westerns, dude. You know who Taylor Sheridan is, right, JP?
I do not.
He created and wrote Yellowstone and 1920, I can't remember the years, 1923 or whatever, and the other one.
Oh, okay.
He's also done Tulsa King, Mayor Kingstown. All these are on Paramount.
Okay, yeah, I've seen Tulsa King with Stallone, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but I've been meaning to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think we'll see. Let's see how some of these new ones do coming up.
Yeah, I just think like I said, I feel like we could be seeing the start of the video game adaptation renaissance, because like you said, Sonic was good, Sonic 2, Mario, the new Mortal Kombat wasn't bad.
It was good, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
My kid loved it.
So we'll have to see once more come out, but I could definitely envision, especially with Red Dead, like what Jack Black was saying, it's so rich. There's so many toys to play with in that sandbox. It could definitely produce a very good show. And
what I like is that this could potentially be another thing to keep us away from doing so many reboots. Because remember when we went through that reboot stage?
Yeah,
everything was getting rebooted. So the more things that they can adapt, the better. Novels, comics, video games, like as long as they're not doing a ton of reboots. I think we're all tired of reboots, right?
Or reimagining, because Assassin's Creed could have been badass if they wouldn't have went the route they went with it.
Oh yeah, Valhalla is one of the fucking most awesome games I've ever played.
I wouldn't want to see a Valhalla movie. I would want to see more like Assassin's Creed 2, the Ezio Auditore storylines versus like Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and all those made into movies before Valhalla, but rather see
Plenty of contact to use and not redo old movies. I never do them right.
But let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that video games adaptations, if they keep going the way they are with Sonic and Mario, could eventually be the new mainstay and overthrow the stranglehold the comic book movie has on the industry right now?
You know what I would think would absolutely break the internet if they did a Smash Brothers movie.
Yes, it would.
I think that's a cash cow. And then get the Sonic that we have from the other movies and bring them in.
Dude, even if it's like a Legend of Zelda movie would do it too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Netflix was supposed to be making a show, weren't they?
I think there was rumblings about it, but it never.
Yeah, Legend of Zelda would be huge.
Excuse me. That seems to be like one property Nintendo won't let anybody touch.
Because it has to be done right. But I think if they do it kind of like Lord of the Rings, I think it would fucking kill.
No, they do it like Dungeons and Dragons. That'd be cool. In my opinion.
It's not that kind of. I would say it's closer to Lord of the Rings than it is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I just never liked Lord of the Rings, so just.
I don't either. I'm not a fan of Lord of the Rings either. But what I am saying is, that shit made money.
It did, but
JP's like, I don't want to hear that name.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that name, dagnammit.
They'll get a Michael Jackson of a film company to touch Zelda. What does that mean?
He's trying to make a pedophile joke.
Oh.
I ignored it for a reason.
But yeah, dude, I'm here for it. I'm excited to see Mario actually. And I remember when we talked about when they announced it, how pissed I was about it.
Yeah. Well,
better hope for $100 is good.
You and John Leguizamo, who still says, fuck no, I ain't seen that movie.
John Leguizamo's
inclusion.
His argument is different than what my argument was.
You think?
John Leguizamo was like, they should have made it diverse. They don't have any Latinos in that movie. Well, Anna Taylor-Joy is from Argentina, so he's a fucking idiot, for one. And second, there's not Jordan Peele. What's the other? Keegan. Matt, what's his name from Key and Peele?
Keegan from Penn State.
Is it Keegan?
Yeah.
You know, he's in it like.
Yeah,
there's a lot
Keegan
of
Michael Key.
Yeah, Keegan Michael Key. There's a lot of people just because there's nobody that's Mexican or Puerto Rican or something like that. Like, I don't know. That guy's just what he's pissed about is that he was Luigi in the original movie and his movie bombed. And this movie's going to do well. And that pisses him off because he failed at somebody that somebody else did better. And his movie's been the butt of a joke for 30 years. I don't know. John Leguizamo.
What if you ask him?
If
you ask him, people are still clamoring for it, and they're coming up to the convention going, "Man, I love the original Super Mario Brothers movie."
Who says that?
John Leguizamo. He says, every convention I go to, they come up to me and say, "Man, I love the original Super Mario Brothers movie. You need more of that Super Mario Brothers movie." I don't know why he sounds like a sassy black person, but
I will say this: casting Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo was genius. I thought they were both awesome. The rest of that movie sucks balls. Like they make Koopas by like shrinking their heads or whatever.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, dude, they need to fucking do something with Roger Rabbit. That movie's awesome.
I don't need to make that movie again.
Not make it again, But that's the only, like, they never made a sequel or anything. Roger Rabbit is
Leguizamo LARPing as an Italian.
They never made another Dick Tracy movie, did they? One was enough.
no. He was trying to get one made just a few years ago. Walt Beatty. What's his first name? Is it not Walter? Is it Walter Beatty? No, Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. Thank you. He wrote one. I remember reading it like 6 years ago or something. He was trying to get this movie made, and the dude like can barely walk.
Who's clamoring for a Dick Tracy movie?
Dick Tracy was awesome.
In the 40s.
That's not what that movie came out.
No, it was in the 80s or early 90s, but still, the Dick Tracy's like.
I have that movie on Blu-ray.
I bet you do. Is it rare?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think I got it from like Best Buy or something.
or Blockbuster. I liked it at the time. I mean, Madonna was in it. She had
I thought it was awesome. Like, I love those gangster movies, dude. And that was kind of like a goofy take on a gangster movie.
It was a corny 90s movie. It was similar to Batman Returns.
Yeah.
That type of genre. It was good.
I'm not saying I'm clamoring for a Dick Tracy reboot. I'm just
There's
saying
no reason to make a second one, is what I'm saying. But I don't know why Warren Beatty feels the need. But hey, some people get it in their head. Ryan Reynolds wanted to play Deadpool and finally got a chance, and look where that got him. So I just don't think. I think Warren Beatty's past his prime, and he's done enough good movies that there's no need for a sequel to Dick Tracy.
How old is he?
I just saw
86.
Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd was in that.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. That's the next slide. Don't get ahead of yourself, buddy.
I'm just
Here we
saying,
go.
but it doesn't matter how old he is.
Some
Guys can still play. Some guys can still play. So.
Don't touch that dial now. We're just getting started.
There you go. So Christopher Lloyd was in the new Mando, huh, JP?
He was. He looked like.
I had to ask my wife. I said, "Is that Lizzo?"
Yeah, I figured that one out. Yeah, Christopher
It
Lloyd
should have
looked
been
like
Jack Black and Kyle Gass as
that
the king and queen.
Oh yeah, that'd have
hilarious.
been funny.
Kyle Gass does
That'd been
not get
hilarious.
enough love in Hollywood.
Yeah, he was the. What's the name of their duo?
Tenacious D.
That's right, Tenacious D.
Did you see my Facebook post? I listed that as one of my favorite movies.
Tenacious
We're not friends on Facebook.
We're not?
I don't think so.
We message each other on Facebook.
No, it's Instagram.
Oh, fuck. Tenacious D, that's a movie I wish they would make a sequel to. I've seen Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny like 100 times. Anna thinks I'm fucking ridiculous how much I love Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
My buddies loved that back in the day.
Oh, dude, I love that fucking movie.
Maybe he played a droid, and we have to check the credits. Maybe Kyle was a droid somewhere in that.
I think I'm done with this show. Mandalorian, not Absolute Geek Podcast. I think I'm done.
Oh, I was getting excited there for a minute.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
I was like, what? Did I say something wrong?
I think I'm done, dude. Like, I just
give it a chance.
It's boring as shit. It's fucking. The last episode was hot garbage. Episode 6 was garbage.
Episode 5 was good because all of your problems with episode 1 through 4 were answered in episode 5. So episode 5 was good. Episode 6, episode 6 was a drag.
And I'm here for Bo-Katan, dude. I like Bo-Katan, but I didn't want to see him go on this like fucking Scooby-Doo mystery thing. It's just fucking stupid.
It was a side quest. It literally was a video game side quest.
It's like the DLCs that I never pay for.
It's like a side mission. It's like, oh, well, you can't get to point A from point A to point B without going to point C to do this for me, to get this, to go on your way. Like, it's always a side quest. And, like, it was such a cop-out the way they gave Bo-Katan the Darksaber, too, to be the leader of Mandalore again. Like, it just...
I think it's funny that they believe whatever you tell them. The Mandalorians, like
they're gullible as fuck, aren't they?
they're like, I'm sure.
Hey, I swam in the lakes. Did he do this? Oh yeah. Like, ask the person that has been ostracized from your crew. Did he swim in the lakes? Oh yeah, I saved him from the lakes. Okay, he's back in.
For the
Fuck
water
you,
he gave.
dude.
Well, they had
The
the
water
little
he
water,
gave
and
that-
once you poured it in the thing, it like transformed. And
He couldn't
Yeah,
have
it
bent
was-
down and just picked up the water. That was
Well, you
a
had to
proof
bathe
that
in
he
it. Yeah.
fucking bathed in
could
it.
have, but
fucking drowned in it.
Or hey, you're allowed back in our crew because you haven't taken off your helmet yet. 15 minutes later, take off your helmet.
And
You're
Right.
still part of our crew. Show's
We're okay with
fucking
it.
stupid, dude. It is fucking dumb. The only reason I watch is so we can talk about it on this show. I'm done.
I don't know.
The
I'll
first
watch it till
season
the
was
end.
fucking awesome, dude. The first season, like, you go back and watch the first season and then watch this bullshit. This is more like Boba Fett than it was the first season of Mandalorian.
Well, it's because he accomplished his mission. What made Mandalorian season 1 and 2 so good is because he had a mission. It was a lone wolf and cub all the way until he succeeded in his mission, and then went back on his mission and took Grogu back. Now he's got no mission. Now they gave him a mission to help rebuild Mandalore, and so now you're going to start getting into. They gave her the mission to find the more Mandalorians, so that's going to lead into all the Mandalorians that are outcasts, the Death Watch. It's going to lead into Ahsoka looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn, looking for, I have a feeling that Sabine Wren shows up in the last episode of Mando, which leads into Ahsoka.
Is it Grand Admiral Thong or Thrawn?
Thrawn. It's not Thong.
The thong.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was super confusing to my parents because they always used to call flip-flops thongs.
Yes, competent story, mission, same thing, Joe. But
Here's what I would, if I was Star Wars, running the show, all these TV series would get 2 seasons and that's it. 2 seasons, move on to the next thing. They start to get dull and dry after 2 seasons. Cassian or Andor is going to end after 2 seasons. Boba Fett should end after 2 episodes. Mando should have ended last season and go into Ahsoka, like 2 seasons. We don't need these long stretch. Like, the show's bad. It's badly written. They've lost their passion for it. It's almost laughable how bad it is.
Joe's Doolin says the idea of the Mandalorian show was good. The concept of a Mandalorian universe sucks nards.
And now they're talking about doing a crossover movie with all 3, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and Ahsoka.
Well,
right?
'cause
Was
he's
that
already
the 3?
I mean, he's
That'll be
already crossed over with all of them, so it's just going to be tying up that universe.
Tell me it
That'll be
doesn't feel the same as the WB saying, "Hey, come watch our Arrowverse. We're going to do Crisis on Infinite Earths," and then 2 years later, we're going to do this crossover. And we're going to do this crossover. Fuck you, dude. This is no better than a fucking CW show.
Well, and they took what was so good about the Mandalorian being fresh and original, and they brought it back to a Skywalker story by bringing fucking Luke fucking Skywalker into it. Like,
Yep.
It was cool though at the end of that.
And I'm talking about the young fuckable Luke, not the grumpy get off my lawn Luke.
Right.
Which I've been contesting since day one should have been Sebastian Stan,
Yes.
and actually give him a proper role in this fucking show. Not Luke Skywalker. Here, I'm here to take the baby. 2 episodes later, I don't want this baby anymore. Mando, take him back.
He's an asshole, that baby.
Well, it was Grogu that wanted to leave, but
Right.
still feels like a long-winded thing to. We got to find you a teacher. Oh, never mind. You don't want to be taught. So
Mr.
let's
Papa.
go fucking save Mandalore.
Same thing with the first or second episode of Mandalorian this year, where they needed IG-88, and then he couldn't build them, so he took the other stupid robot or droid, and then that thing drowned.
That's what I've
and-
been going on about for 3 shows.
But the other stupid droid led the dude to the fucking planet Mando was on to
So,
get
yeah.
Bo-Katan to go help fight the pirates.
But
I
see
guess
what
they
you just
tied in
did.
that way.
What you just did. Like, remember how I was telling you about Trey Parker and Matt Stone, how they were talking about the difference between writing a story and every continuing thought is connected by the word and, but actually continuing that thought with the word therefore.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that is, what you just explained. Like, his thing was broke, therefore he took this one, and this one brought this guy to, it's just bad. It's bad writing. I'm fucking done with this fucking show.
I gotta finish it.
Why? So another season comes out and I'm just pissed off. Like, why do I have to finish it? I gave up on Walking Dead for this exact same reason.
Oh.
It got boring and repetitive, and they lost their originality.
I'm gonna finish out this season, and I'm looking forward to Grand Admiral Thong coming into this universe.
Thong.
Making that happen. So I'm gonna see how they tie it all together.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly. Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I was gonna say I liked what I saw from the Ahsoka trailer that we got today. Like, I liked seeing all of the Rebels crew, seeing Chopper, seeing Sabine, seeing Ezra, seeing Thrawn. You know, seeing just all that Rebels crew was awesome. But I really feel like Sabine's gonna show up in Mando because she's a Mandalorian. She kind of belongs in that show.
So Joe's Doolin said there's a lot of wasted energy and filler in these Mando episodes. I agree. That's why I compare it to a CW show, because but the difference between CW shows and Mandalorians, you get 10 episodes or however many episodes are in this season. How many episodes are in this one, guys?
I don't know.
I want to say 10.
Is it 10? I thought
10.
the article I read said there was only 2 episodes left. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really fucking care. But there's 8 to 10 episodes, and they're throwing filler episodes in here. But CW threw filler episodes into 22 episode seasons, so they were less aggravating. You know what I mean? The like Supernatural that ran for 15 seasons, they throw the Scooby-Doo episode in the middle of it.
It will be 8 episodes in total.
8 episodes.
Yeah.
So when you only have 8 episodes to tell a story, you shouldn't waste them. You shouldn't, like, and if you don't need 8 episodes to tell a story, then have a 4 episode season or make a fucking movie. Like, don't. It's just.
Well, I think you're getting, but see, now I think the rest of the season's going to focus on rolling into Ahsoka, focus on them rebuilding Mandalore and them reaching out and obtaining other Mandalorians, and it's going to lead into Ahsoka and Grand Admiral Thrawn. And see, now you got me saying it, Thrawn. Grand Admiral Thrawn. God damn it, JP. Thrawn, and leading into the next story. I kind of really feel like the adventures of Mando here are done. He's just going to be used as a pawn to move the story forward towards Ahsoka.
Here's my question on this. You know what's going to happen, right? So we know this leads into Force Awakens. So you already know
before that.
This is between Jedi and Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, because Luke is young, of course.
So
but there's a big distance, like
30 years.
He's old.
It's 30 years.
Yeah, but yeah, because
it isn't like 5,000 years. And what I'm saying is that you know what's going to happen. So Thrawn is nowhere in the sequels 7, 8, 9. So you know he's going to die somewhere or get shipped out somehow. You know Ahsoka wasn't in those movies, so something happens to her. Mandalorian, they had no bearing in those other movies.
Just because they're not. I mean, just because they're not in the movie doesn't mean they're dead or shipped off. But
they were. But you're going to build up all this equity in these characters, Thrawn, Ahsoka, the Mandalorians, and they're going to have no bearing on those 7, 8, 9. They should have never made those movies. They should have made.
Here's the thing with Thrawn. Thrawn was never about the will of the Empire. He was there about the will of his people, what's best for him and his people. So he always kind of marched to the beat of his own drum. So they referred to him as the heir to the Empire. So who's to say that Thrawn isn't the reason that the Republic has started in what the fuck do they call the First Order started in the Force Awakens.
But you don't see him in there. It was Snoke and the Emperor.
Right, but
So I'm
just
just
because you don't see him doesn't mean.
Yeah, but Grogu's not in any of these either.
all right. So it's like it's a whole.
And they're not going to kill off Grogu.
Just a whole universe of people. And again, it's a cool thing about Star Wars is that you have all these places you can go with it, but when they're so tied in that leads into the next story, that's Rogue One was a great movie that you could add a couple pieces to make it link, and then all you did was just bridge the gap. Here you're bridging a gap with a bunch of things, and all the things that we are looking forward to have no bearing to 7, 8, and 9. But I would rather forget 1, 2, and 3 and 7, 8, and 9 ever came out.
Well, the thing with Rogue One though is that they already gave you the plot of Rogue One in A New Hope, so it was pretty much just like
The ending
knew
was
it.
written.
You knew it, but it still was fun to watch. That's why, you know what's happening here, so it could be fun to watch, but there's still no bearing. Like all those people died essentially in Rogue One. Not all of them, but the majority of them did. So you didn't care. They were throwouts, but
that's half the reason why I can't watch Endor, because I don't give a shit about Cassian Andor, because I know he bites the bullet in.
Oh, I love that show. I'm much more interested in Andor than I am Mandalorian.
I'll try it again, but I'm just saying, like, you get all into Mandalorian, and they want to start the Mandalorian, get their planet again, and get all their people back together. But that's not going to have, what bearing is that going to have on the universe 7, 8, 9? Unless they're going to, when they do the Rey movie, they bring the Mandalorians back into it, and Thrawn somehow. Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's about the only way you can do it. You can still do it and tell a story and be done. It's just, I'm just saying, like, we know that it's not going to be
Din Djarin be dead by the time Rey comes
He'll
around?
be 70 years old.
More than likely, he's not around.
Most of them won't be. So you can tell a story of finality to it, but it's probably the best story that they have besides the Skywalker story, 4, 5, and 6, and it's going to end. It happens. It's probably going to be their best story if they could tell it right, the way it started. Again, so did A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi had the Ewoks, and it was like, that was fun for 6-year-olds, but it wasn't great for older. When you look back at it, it was kind of corny. So yeah. Mandalorian started off well, and now Grogu looks kind of funny when Izzo's picking. Or is it Izzo or Lizzo? Lizzo is holding him, and
he's become a gag. He's a gag. He has no bearing on the story whatsoever now.
No,
except that he's his little castaway.
Yep.
Like, he has no bearing on the story. That scene where she's forging his Flava Flav necklace and he's staring at the hammer coming down, and it's so bad, dude. It's so bad.
And he has PTSD.
I agree, Sticks. Andor may be my favorite Star Wars show, and Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie.
I've watched Andor. I got as far as them jumping out of that into the water when they escaped, and I
thought that was the season finale.
I didn't watch.
And then come to find out there was 2 episodes I missed.
I mean, I heard a lot. I mean, I heard it was good. I don't know. I just wasn't.
The writing's far better, and it's because they're not relying on sabers and the Force and this and that. They're not relying on cute little puppets like Grogu, and it's just, and that's what I like about Rogue One. Rogue One is it feels more grounded than the Skywalker stuff.
It feels more like it's
like a heist movie.
Magic. Yeah, not magic related. It's just
And I've never been a huge Star Wars fan, but I remember watching the first season of Mando. I said, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah, I thought
and
it was
it's just lost me. It's just
that first season culminated with having Luke Skywalker show up and kick the crap out of all those whatever the hell those stormtroopers were. I thought that was awesome because I'd waited a long time to see that Luke Skywalker, the one between Jedi and Force Awakens. I was hoping they would made 7, 8, and 9, just like the Heir to the Empire books, and they never did them. So
So Joe's Dolan said Grogu is just comic relief. I completely agree. He's no better than Jar Jar. He's Jar Jar, but doesn't speak. That's what they've reduced Grogu to. And before, when it was like, it seems like every 10 minutes now, there needs to be a funny Grogu scene. Whereas before, in the first couple seasons, it was, you know, him doing something cute and funny feels right here, instead of forcibly, you know, flying into the arms of Lizzo or whatever. Like, it's fucking stupid, dude. It's just
Who else
fucking
wouldn't want to fly in the arms of Izzo?
It's just fucking dumb. I'm done talking about the show. Let's talk Ted Lasso. Let's change my mood
It's
here.
interesting that like there's a 3-year time jump between Mando season 1 and 2 and season 3. So the Mandalorian season 1 and 2 fits in 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. Book of Boba Fett is also the 9 years after the Battle of Yavin. Mandalorian season 3 is 12 years after the Battle of Yavin. And then
What's the Battle of Yavin?
The Force Awakens is 34 years after the Battle of Yavin.
What's the Battle of Yavin?
It's the day you lost your virginity.
The moon of Yavin.
What is that?
Yavin was the first place where they had the rebel base in A New Hope. So,
Oh, is that it?
yeah,
I
but
don't
then
remember, dude.
it was the moon of Endor. So it would be. You sure it's after Yavin or the moon of Endor?
It's Yavin. So it's also known as the Battle of the Death Star.
Okay.
A New Hope is the Battle of
The Battle of
Yavin.
Yavin, also known as the Battle of Death Star, or the Miracle of Yavin, was a major and decisive battle for the Galactic Civil War, in which the Rebel Alliance was able to destroy the Death Star and was seen as one of the first major victories over the Galactic Empire.
Oh, well, I know all that. I just didn't know the name of it. Yeah.
So, yeah, A New Hope is the Battle of Yavin. Because they destroyed the original Death Star at the end of New Hope.
So this is 12 years after A New Hope, season 3. So
Season
how
3
long?
is 12 years after A New Hope.
How long is Return of the Jedi after A New Hope?
Return of the Jedi is 4 years after A New Hope.
So that's right smack dab in the middle of A New
So-
Hope in this.
Yeah, you have Row 1, which is 0 years, which leads into the Battle of Yavin. Then A New Hope is 0 year. Empire Strikes Back is 3 years after the Battle of Yavin. Return of the Jedi is 4 years. Mandalorian season 1 and 2 is 9 years. Boba Fett is 9 years. Mandalorian season 3 is 12 years. And then A Force Awakens is 34 years. And Rise of Skywalker is 35 years. So 12 years have passed. Where we sit right now in Mando, 12 years have passed since everything kicked off.
I don't know. I'll probably watch it just so we can fucking talk about it on the show. But if it wasn't for the show, I would not be watching.
I don't know. I mean, we don't have to talk about it anymore because none of us know diddly dick about Star Wars. Like, I always say I know just enough to be dangerous in a conversation. That's it.
Yeah, it's about me.
I don't fucking dive into all this bullshit.
Yeah, Max is obsessed. Huh.
Joe Dillon says the Battle of Yavin is also known as Chewie got snubbed at the medal ceremony.
Oh, that's
All right,
right.
yeah.
They don't. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Moving to Teddy Lasso. This week's Ted Lasso, we saw the big meeting between the rivals of AFC Richmond and West Ham.
Wah wah wah.
Nate,
After what you said a couple weeks ago, I thought they for sure were gonna. Can we spoil this?
yeah, go ahead.
I thought for sure they were gonna beat West Ham.
No, I think that's reserved for the last episode.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was like, man, they got their asses kicked.
I think it's reserved
They're
for
gonna-
the last episode. I think Nate's going to get fired. He's going
No,
to come
yeah.
back to Richmond, and they're going to beat West Ham.
No,
if it's the
well,
last
yes.
episode of the series, Nate has to come back.
So I think what's going to happen is that Jamie Tartt's going to get good, and he's going to start commanding the same respect that Zava does. Zava's going to get pissed and leave Richmond, go to West Ham. Something's going to happen with Nate to where Nate gets fired. Nate does something wrong, and Rupert says, you need to do it my way and fire him. And then Nate's going to come back and help Richmond beat West Ham to win it all.
You already see Nate kind of questioning Rupert's character, like when he looks at him in the club and he's like flirting with the secretary. You see the look on Nate's face. So there's something brewing there. This was episode 4. How many episodes is this season?
I don't know. Last season was 12. So
I'm assuming probably the same.
This is probably my new favorite show. I just got into it 2 months ago.
Because of us?
Sure.
yeah, there's 12 episodes in the final season to last time.
Yeah, and it feels that way. It feels like we're only a quarter of the way through it because there's still, I think, in the next 4 episodes, something's going to happen where Nate leaves. Ted's going to welcome him back. There's going to be some struggle because the rest of the team is, because you saw at the end of this thing, they show the team the tape and they all hate Nate now. So there's going to be an episode where they have to rehabilitate Nate into the group. Then they all, camaraderie with each other.
My beautiful wife says she thinks Nate will just leave.
One of those two things will happen. He's either going to get fed up and leave, or he's going to get fired. One of those two things is going to happen.
Zava's going to leave, right? Zaza or Zava?
I think Zava leaves for sure. I think he's going to leave.
I wonder if Jamie Tartt leaves.
I don't think
so. I don't either.
After his 4 a.m. runs with
Roy.
Oi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard at that scene where he shows up at the door and he's got a shirt on but no underwear. And as they're working out in the park,
full on Winnie the Pooh.
He's walking up. He's like, "How come we wear tops and not bottoms?" He's like, "Because I get cold upstairs and hot downstairs." He goes, "Makes sense." But I think Jamie's gonna believe. Like, Jamie owes his transformation to Ted, and so he's kind of made that transition. I think that's why he wants to be as good as Zava, because he doesn't like seeing the superstar come in and take over his team, because he was always the best on the team and now he's not. So he wants to get better and be better than Zava. And you already kind of see it in this episode where he takes the shot and Zava gets pissed off at him and he's like, Zava. And so I think Jamie's going to get better and start commanding more attention, and Zava's going to get pissed and leave. And then Rupert's going to be right there to scoop him up. And Nate's going to get fed up with him and leave or get fired, and then he's going to come back and help Richmond beat West Ham to win it all. And can we just get Ted and Rebecca together already, for fuck's sake? Like, quit dancing around it.
She's too tall for him.
No way.
She's too
She
tall.
wants to take that mustache ride.
I gotta say,
quite-
I didn't realize
quite
this
the lady.
until, was it the last episode they were in Sam's restaurant?
Yes.
Was
Sam's
is
Club.
that the last one?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize this. I don't find her particularly attractive, but holy crap, for how old she is, her body is slamming.
Yes, they put her in very flattering outfits. That's for
She
sure.
got quite the mouth on her.
Yes. That's okay, though.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Is she
I
not
think
that flattering, though?
her
Is
friend
it-
that actually sleeps with Ted is
Sassy.
more my speed.
Aaron
But
says
is
he has
she-
to stop sleeping with Sassy first.
But is she not attractive, or is she just in the right outfits?
I don't think Sassy
I don't-
as Rebecca is.
I don't find Rebecca too. Rebecca has a really nice body, but I don't find her too attractive.
She's UK attractive.
I do. I think she's slamming. I'd climb
They,
that
they have
mountain.
different. They have worse teeth over there in England. I don't really worry.
All
about
right.
No, but that's
being
true.
a
They'll
hater.
even say that.
Yeah, I know.
The dentistry industry is not doing well.
It's medieval.
over in the UK.
Very
It's
medieval. But I mean, even going back to when she was in Game of Thrones. I didn't even know that was her.
She
in
was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was-
she's like the maiden that's walking through the streets with Cersei, going shame.
Don't act like you
shame,
guys are surprised.
shame."
I don't watch that show.
I watched it a couple years ago. I thought she looked familiar, and then I think Matt, you said it last
yeah.
pod. I was like, really? And I had to go
Or
back
2
and
weeks
see it.
ago.
I'm like, that is her, but completely different. So take her out of the complimentary clothes, and I didn't even remember her. Right? So you put her in this outfit, and you remember her. So
She's
I
in the
don't know
new
if
Hocus Pocus movie.
clothes
She
make
is.
the woman.
Yes.
How many women do we have watching our show right now? One.
Yeah, and it's my wife.
I don't want to
We
put
need
the
more chicks.
perception out there that I think she's ugly. I don't. She's just not my type.
I understand. That's. I'm just.
Yeah, I think she's a
asking if
very
it's
pretty woman.
Do the clothes make the woman, or is it does a woman make the clothes?
No, she was in Hocus Pocus. I thought she was pretty. Like, there's women I
didn't
can
see
look
Hocus
at that I'm like, oh, that's a pretty woman. It's just not my type.
Mm.
But
a synopsis of this episode, you see Richmond is getting ready to set up for their face-to-face meeting with West Ham. You kind of see conflicted Nate and conflicted Ted both way around. Like Beard and Roy are trying to figure out a way to beat West Ham, and they want to use the tape they find thanks to Trent Krim of Nate ripping the sign to their advantage. Ted doesn't want to do it. He just kind of says, no, we're just going to leave this alone. We're going to beat him our own way. And you kind of see, like Lance was saying, conflicted Nate. Like at the beginning, Nate knocks the Ted piece off and he's like, oh, sorry, all cocky. And then he kind of like comes around and he's like, all right, and picks him up. And you can see that relationship there between him and Ted is still very raw, and that wound is still open, and that they both feel like it was left wrong, and that, they both still have those feelings towards each other. And Nate wants to apologize, but every time he comes around to it, Rupert's right there to talk him out of it. I really think Rupert is very much manipulating Nate, because under this false bravado that he offers, he's still the same old shy Nathan Shelley. You see it from the interaction in the restaurant with the woman who wouldn't give him the time of the day before, to when he's standing in the elevator in the corner hiding from Ted.
Yep.
He's still very much the same Nathan Shelley until he gets that like boost of confidence from Rupert. And I am very interesting. One thing my wife pointed out to me is that you can tell Rupert manipulates him, because in certain circumstances he tells him to call him something else. He's like, no, it's Mr. I can remember, like Murdoch or whatever his last name is, or he's like, please call me Rupert, or he keeps changing back and forth to keep him in that line of like, what you can call me, to keep hitting him with that, keep him in check a little bit.
yeah, he's manipulative.
Yes.
And it's borderline abusive.
So
What are you laughing at?
Should we call like OSHA or something on it?
So they're getting beat by West Ham, and in order to rally the troops, Beard and Roy decide to show the tape to the team, and then they just go full on mental and just start getting ejected from the game left and right for playing dirty. And
Which is stupid, because you wouldn't be that dumb to keep getting ejected.
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought-
it's
I didn't like they got beat that badly. I was hoping it would be a better game, and just I expected them to win based on what you said last week. I told my wife, I said, they're going to win this game. Watch. Matt said they're going to win.
No, I think they're going to win
Badly.
it all.
I
never thought they were going to win.
I thought that was going to start it, and they would have to play them again in the playoffs somehow and play the championship game. But
I thought they were going to be close, but still lose. But the fact that they lost so badly just adds to that kind of retribution arc that I think
but the retribution arc started last season with Ted, the team itself. Like I see it, but I just was
no. But this is all about I think a big part of it is Rebecca getting one up on Rupert. I think that's going to play a big part of it. And once they're able to heal that wound, because you can tell she's obviously still hurt about Rupert, but once she's able to do that, I think it's going to open itself up to a point where she can.
She doesn't need to get that with the soccer team anymore, though. She's got it. She got it in this episode when she tells them, "I saw you with your secretary. You need to stop fucking around on Bex and your daughter. They deserve better." She just got her one up on him.
Yep.
I still think her beating him is going to.
That'll help, but I don't know. I didn't know how many episodes there were, and I was just, one of those things that you hope there's more, and then all of a sudden it's over. Like season 2 for me, I just came to the end of it and literally had to wait a week for season 3, which was awesome. But I was like, that's the end of season 2 already. So I know this is the last season. Unfortunately, it's a great show, but I'm just hoping there's, more episodes. So I'm just hoping for that.
They've already stated that they're planning on some spinoffs.
Right,
but I think Jason Sudeikis is done.
He's supposed to be Ted Kord in Blue Beetle.
Jason Sudeikis is in Blue Beetle?
He potentially may be Ted Kord in the Blue Beetle movie.
Huh.
And making a debut or making a little cameo in that one, and then being the Ted Kord Blue Beetle.
So we got 2
Blue Beetle trailer.
I thought it looked sweet, man. I thought it looked really cool. Like way better than I thought it was going to look.
You didn't find that it felt familiar? Like you've seen it before?
Like what?
Shazam?
Yep.
No.
It felt like Shazam and No Way Home put in a one.
But as I say, it kind of felt like Spider-Man, Homecoming, and Iron Man had a fuck baby.
True. He has the similar armor to Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever armor.
Oh, you're saying his suit?
Yeah.
Not the whole the trailer in general.
Yeah, it felt like a combination of a family movie like Shazam and then Spider-Man, Iron Man, the rest of the trailer. It'll be good though. That's what'll draw people in.
Well, he does get it from a super secret science thing
coming in. Don't worry, it's coming.
He does get the scarab from the
Blue Beetle,
super secret, where apparently his girlfriend works at, or eventually they're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever. They're going to be romantic.
His name is Jaime. It's not Jamie.
No, he's Latino. It's Jaime.
Jaime. But how do you say it's Juan for John, right? Juanito, Johnny.
No, John and Juan are not spelled the same.
They're not. But did you say Juan?
No, Juan is not John, because it's not Jonathan. John comes from Jonathan.
Juanito. That's what my name in Spanish class was, Juanito.
I don't think Juan and John.
Or no, she called me. That's right. She called me Bendejo.
I don't know
what
if she's Bendejo mean? But I can hear Aaron laughing in the living room at you guys.
What does Bendejo mean? They call me Bendejo. And
Bendejo?
Isn't that bitch?
No, asshole.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that was in.
Apparently, it is the version of John. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Juanito.
My dad's real name is Guillermo, which is William.
But that's not even spelled the same. So when you have Jaime or Jamie, I'm like, what? It's Jaime.
They don't really use.
Isn't it Hyman? Isn't Jamie Hyman?
No, Jaime.
No,
yeah, Hyman.
No, I had a friend named that.
I had a friend in middle school whose name was Jamie, who's Hispanic, and they called him Hyman.
Hyman? No, there's no N.
Jewish?
No, he was Hyman.
There's no N in the word. It's spelt exactly the same.
It was Hyman Villagomez. I'm telling you.
It may be, but it's Jaime.
When I heard it, I was watching the trailer and they kept saying Jaime. I'm like, are they saying it wrong? Because am I saying it wrong? It's Jamie. They're like Jaime. I'm like, what the hell?
Yes, I know what Hyman is.
Are you talking about Hyman, like Hymen,
yes.
like for a woman?
Yes.
No, were you cracking a joke?
No, that's literally what he was. His name was Hyman. That's what he would tell everyone, is that his name was Jamie, but in Spanish it was Hyman. Hyman Villagomez.
Would have been Dejo.
Bendejo.
And yes, the hymen is the fucking thin piece of tissue at the opening of the vagina. I know what the hymen is.
Thank you.
So I thought you were cracking a joke, but they actually called him. Well, poor kid. Well, I
Oh,
don't know.
no.
Are high schoolers smart enough to make that connection?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean,
Some
if you're
little
named
more.
Jaime or Hyman, you should be able to, you know.
Call him
It
Hyman
sticks.
Reyes.
It's not spelt like that though. They don't really use H's in Spanish. Like Henry is
Hache.
Enrique.
Heche.
Yeah, they don't like H isn't a commonly used word in Spanish.
So if I said cortar el
The
queso,
letter.
what does that mean?
What?
Cortar el queso.
Cortar el queso? Well, you said something with cheese. I don't know what
Doesn't mean
cortar
cortar
is.
mean cut?
Something with cheese. El Royale with cheese.
Doesn't cortar or corta el queso mean cut the cheese? How do you say cut in Spanish?
Not that fluent. My parents are. I'm not.
I'm just asking. I'm asking anybody on the pod, and I'm just because you're Lance. I'm not asking you particularly. I'm just. You said
Corta.
Jaime, so I figured you had.
Corta.
Okay, so yeah.
Corta. That's a cut in Spanish. Corta.
Cortar el queso. It means cut the cheese. Donde está el sanitario? Right? Where's the bathroom? That's the only things I learned in Spanish class, unfortunately.
Corta el queso. Cut the cheese.
Yeah.
Corta el queso.
So in Arizona, you learn all the curse words. You learn all the ways to order food. Those are probably the most common.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to say 90% of our street names
Donde
are
está el
Spanish.
baño? That's where's the bathroom. Donde está el baño?
Yeah. That's funny. He's Italian. My dad took Italian in high school, and he said he got a C or a D in it because it was a different dialect. Because all he learned when growing up was how to swear and how to ask for food from his grandmother, who only spoke Spanish or Italian.
You know what's sad is that both my mom
testas is show me your tits.
both my mom and dad, their first language is Spanish, and as well as my grandfather. My grandmother's first language is Italian. And
Nice.
when I was born a year and a half after my dad moved to this country, and they made it a rule to only speak English in the home so he could learn English. So me and my siblings did not learn Spanish. I can understand 95%, like especially if it's Argentina Spanish, because Argentina Spanish and Mexican Spanish are very different.
Right,
But different
Vete a la
dialects
Maria
and stuff.
Prea. Fuck you, bitch.
And Mexico uses a lot of like slang and stuff. But it's sad, dude. Like I look back now, I was like, man, I wish my parents would have tried harder to get me to learn Spanish when I was younger.
That was just the culture of immigrants, was to speak English at home so that your kids learned English as opposed to the other way around. Because my dad was the same way. He knew, like I said, how to swear and ask for food, but my grandmother spoke broken English at the dinner table, so she would do some English, switch back to Italian, and everyone would get lost. That wasn't Italian, wasn't speaking. So they made it a rule to stick with English. And
yeah, all my aunts and uncles speak Spanish, and then my two older cousins speak Spanish. My younger of the two cousins, not very well, but my older of the two cousins does. And then everybody under those two, English, does not speak Spanish whatsoever.
I learned most of my Spanish from Cheech and Chong.
Mexican Americans don't like to get up in the morning, but they have to, so they do it real slow.
I'm surprised those two haven't made another movie. They're doing all these commercials together.
They hate each other, don't they?
No, they're constantly doing commercials together. They started like a weed tool company together. They just did a commercial together on TikTok. Like bongs and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what would you call that? Not paraphernalia, because paraphernalia makes it seem illegal. It's not illegal anymore.
Weed tool to be weed pipes.
No, but it's not just pipes. Like it's grinders and like it's smoking utensils. I guess weed utensils. Yeah, I guess, which is just another word for tool.
A weed tool sounds like something you're using to pick weed, not actually smoke it.
I don't know. I'm not a fucking pothead. I don't know. We fucking when I was a kid, we had joints and a pipe. That's all we smoked out of. And now there's a plethora.
Plethora, is that it? That's a Mexican word, isn't it?
No. There's a lot of shit that you can use to. Dude, I went to Mexico with my buddy owns a weed distillery company where he sells to like the weed distributors and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching him do all these different ways of smoking weed and doing all these things. I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is way different. Like he was doing like dabs. Have you heard of dabs? It's like,
I think so.
It's like wax or something. And then there's this like syringe thing that you can put like, you put like the, not the wax, but you put like the extract in the joint and it makes it like way, like it's fucking crazy.
Well,
Some of the shit
is it
they have.
legalized where you guys are at?
Yes, it
In
is.
Arizona? Yeah.
So you guys can gummy bears and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of it still, so like the syringe thing that he had, you need
That's
a
not-
medical card to get that. It's like it
Okay.
makes it like super potent or something like that.
Oh yeah, I bet goes right to your blood system.
Yeah. No. You're not injecting it. You're
I
not
was gonna say-
injecting it.
I was
No,
gonna
like
say,
when you roll
yeah.
a joint, you put this stuff on the weed.
Oh.
I
Why don't they just
guess.
put in Tabasco sauce and just spread it on top of the joint?
It's
and then
essentially
smoke
like
it
a
out
condiment, but it's like
Jesus.
it's like pure THC.
in a syringe.
Yeah, it looks like it's not like a syringe with a needle, but it looks like one of those
Oh,
things that
it's
you would
like,
give your
Yeah.
kids Tylenol with.
Yep. Okay, I know what you mean. When
Yeah.
you said syringe, I was like, I was thinking with a
Yeah,
needle. but I
not a
got you.
needle, not a needle. No, I didn't watch him inject the shit.
I was like, whoa, what kind of shit are they doing in Mexico, man?
Which, dude, how much shit that they have now? Like, I would not be surprised if somebody discovers a way to inject it directly in your bloodstream.
Might as well.
No, but Mexico, it's like if you get caught with it, it's like you can go to jail.
You just slip him $20 and you're on your way.
It depends. The
Just
amount
like
that
in,
he had, he's going to
We're the
jail.
Millers.
Yeah, I remember they got pulled over on the way back over the board because he brought it with him from Arizona and then was bringing it back to Arizona at the end of our trip. And he got pulled over and we were behind them just freaking out that he was something was going to
busted.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Shit.
yeah, dude, I've never seen like weed has gotten so fucking bougie, dude. Like it's fucking weird, man. Like
Yeah, a lot of shit did.
yeah, it's fucking it's weird.
It's pretty much.
Is
should
it
be
legal where you're at?
New York State is legal, I believe, because I see them pop. Well, no, it's popping up all over the Indian reservations near where I live. So it's like there's a shed everywhere that sells weed.
But if you leave the Indian res and come over to where you live,
You can buy it there and bring it back. You can buy gas there for cheap and cigarettes for cheap.
But if you
Just
bring
grab
it back, if a cop pulls you over, would you get in trouble for having it?
That's a good. I don't know. It's a good question because you can buy your gas without any tax on it. Buy your cigarettes, but you can't buy like cartons of cigarettes. And like, there's a certain limit. I don't know. I have to look into it because I don't smoke. But
So we used to do the same thing. Like we'd go to the res to buy our cigarettes. We could buy cartons though.
you can for like yourself, but you couldn't buy like 5 cartons unless they would think that's excessive. But
Oh yeah,
You
we
know.
we walk over to the res and we buy like 10 cartons.
yeah, you should be able to do that because if detergent's on sale, you can buy 10 of those at Walmart. Why can't you buy 10 cartons of smoke? Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna smoke it all anyway. It doesn't go bad.
You're both terrible people. You smoking sons of bitches.
I don't smoke.
I haven't had a cigarette and
Go buy me a carton of cigarettes.
I just remember
what'd
I
you
don't
smoke,
smoke, but-
JP?
been a
You
long
did.
time.
What was your go-to?
Michelob Ultra.
Marlboro Red 100s.
Ultralights.
Ultralights?
Yeah.
He
That's like
smoked
breathing
them
through a
Newports.
straw, bro.
Don't lie to you.
It was. It went from lights to ultralights because he tried to quit, but
Yeah,
JP used to smoke Newports. JP smoked Newports while he sagged his Janko jeans.
I smoked
and
green
listened
cools.
and listened to LL Cool J.
I had Bugle Boy jeans, just so you know.
I had Bugle Boys.
I
I
had them.
smoked the green cools.
No, we'd had
Because Newports were a little bit too like cools were like Newports, but like $2 cheaper. So we'd
Oh,
smoke
shit, I-
green cools.
I never bought cigarettes. I just bummed them from everybody. I'd take
Oh,
a pack.
dude.
and I'd say I would fill a pack at a party from bumming cigarettes all night long.
Dude, when I was 23, I was smoking a pack a day.
At $8,
23,
fuck
24. That. It wasn't that expensive when I was doing it. It wasn't $8.
I went to New York. It went to $8. I'm like, fuck this. There's no way I'm doing
I went
that.
to Chicago. I was still smoking, and a pack of Newports was $12.
Oh.
And over in Arizona, they were $5.
Do you remember going to the airport where you had the smokers lounge? And you'd sit in there and smoke with everyone else and just smell like a goddamn ashtray as you left the little shed thing you were in. It was disgusting.
Do they have hookah lounges?
I haven't seen
where
it.
You're at? So we used to have hookah lounges everywhere. In fact, a friend of the show, Jesse, that does the Nerds with Balls podcast, he owns a hookah lounge. But they used to be everywhere, and we used to go to the hookah lounge every weekend and sit there for hours, all chipping our money, and you just look at like you seen Wizard of Oz, the big caterpillar thing, like what he's smoking out of. That's hookah.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah,
I know what it is, but
we would sit on the floor on these pillows,
like
and
just carpet ride.
Essentially, they were all owned by like Middle Eastern people and stuff like that. So they all had those kind of themes, like pillows and rugs and stuff on the floor. And you get heroes and stuff. But yeah, every weekend it was like $40, and like 10 of us would go and just all split it.
Oh no, that's not bad then. Yeah, $40 for $4 per.
But we do like 3 bowls, so you'd end up spending like 120, but split between like 10 people.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We sit there for hours, dude. As long as we kept buying it, they come around, they put coals on top. Yeah.
And we never had that around here. We weren't that. Just have the lounges now for marijuana.
It wasn't marijuana. It was
no,
tobacco.
But we have. I mean, I know that, but I'm saying that's what we have now. We never had the hookah lounges. We just have the sheds and the Indian reservation selling the THC, and we don't have. We never had hookahs. Never seen that. So that'd be fun though.
It tastes good though. Have you had a hookah, Matt?
No.
You know what I'm talking about? They used to have them everywhere.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but I just never.
It basically looks like a big water bong.
I wasn't a fucking hipster.
No. Go back to watch Three Stooges. Anytime they've ever done a World War II skit, they have Curly is smoking out of a hookah, and he plugs it into like the gas line when they were heating the house, and he's like, and his stomach keeps getting bigger and bigger from smoking in all the gas. And then he lights a cigarette and almost blows the whole place up. But it's hilarious watching him smoke out of a hookah.
He put the hookah hose on a gas thing?
Yes. Somehow he went and grabbed the wrong gas line and put it in his mouth, and he's smoking on that.
Oh my gosh.
And he's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then he lights a cigarette and blows up the whole place.
That's hysterical.
But they had that way back then. I mean, I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, he got a hookah.
I remember we all chipped in and bought a hookah. Like it was like a 10 hose hookah, and we go to the cigarette shop and buy the boxes of what do they call it? Hashish or something like that.
Hashish.
But it was like fruit, tobacco, and like molasses. Like all it looked like mud essentially.
We building a house. Mud.
Yeah, it looked like mud, man. Like what do they call it? Was it hashish?
Yeah,
hashish.
But what about a water bong?
They had water. Like I've done like a gravity bong type, like or the
gravity bong. Yeah, then you spill it. It tastes like smells like shit.
Like you light it down, pull it out.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done those. We've done gravity bongs where you have like a tank of water with like, and you like push, like you had a jug that was cut in half, and you push it, and it push it up in your. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know exactly how it works, but I've done it.
Sheesh.
Yeah, dude. In Arizona, like weed has been illegal, like up until the last couple years. But everybody I knew that was my age smoked weed, and I never knew anybody getting in trouble unless they were like selling it.
Right.
Now, a ton of my friends got in trouble for drinking underage, but we never got in trouble for weed. Ever.
No, and people say it's a gateway to the next drug. I don't know. I mean, you shouldn't smoke and drive, but if you're gonna sit at home and eat nachos, to each his own. I guess.
Nachos and lemon heads on my dad's boat.
Yeah, just don't drive with it.
See, I would rather have a bunch of high people on the road than a bunch of drunk people. I'm telling you right now.
I don't know.
I'd
I'd rather have a bunch of people on acid driving on the road than I would have them on weed, because at least they'll drive better that way. Like a race car, man. They're
You're
like
gonna
into
hallucinate.
it. I know, but they're into it, man. They're seeing shit, but they're avoiding shit too. So I don't want slow drivers or fast impaired drivers. I want people that are keen sensitive.
I'm just saying Amsterdam has the lowest amount of accidents per
lemon
capita
heads
or
on my
something like
dad's
that
boat.
than any other country in the world.
I just the point of
I'm not saying I want either, but
No,
this
no, I just
was
think
an argument.
That's not what I heard. I heard you said that you'd rather have high
heads on
people
the road.
driving than
No, people.
yeah,
used
you'd
to
rather
make
have
this
weed heads
argument,
driving
like,
than
when they were
alcoholics.
arguing the fact of alcohol, like weed is worse than alcohol. Like they would use that argument all the time, like weed is worse than because I would ask, why is alcohol legal and weed's not? The whole reason weed wasn't legal was because of like taxes and stuff like that. It's hard to tax that stuff. So I would ask people, why is alcohol legal and weed's not? Like, it makes no sense. And they're like, well, weed does this. And I was like, I'd rather have a bunch of people stoned driving than drunk people drive. Like, I would try to make the argument that alcohol is worse than weed.
But they don't
as
have
far
enough
as what it
studies
does to your
with
body.
people. There's not enough studies of people that smoke weed that drive.
Oh, sure there is.
I don't think
Sure there
there's
is.
enough documented. Like alcohol's been legal for a long period of time that they can track certain things, and legal drivers what happens. Whereas with weed, it hasn't been legal till recent, so they can't really. There's probably not enough evidence to make a case one way or the other.
Joe, Joe's Dylan said weed now is so much more potent than it was 20 years ago. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Botany, bitches. Botany.
Now they can openly like fucking test it. Like, have you been to a weed store, Matt?
Yes.
Like, it's insane. Like, they have it looks like a glass counter where you buy like a Walgreens. You have 50 different kinds of strands. It's insane. You're buying weed like you would buy donuts at a donut shop. It's fucking crazy. And when I was a kid, there was the good shit and then there was swag. That was it.
Swag.
$20 for a dime sack of swag. And it was the nastiest. It was all stems and seeds and shit. It was nasty.
Remember Cheech and Chong when he made the little joint he rolled, and then he went to smoke it, and he accidentally inhaled it. So small.
man.
And then he made the huge one out of dog shit. Remember, because the dog ate all his weed, so he made the huge joint out of dog shit. And one of the guys, I think it was Cheech, didn't know it was made of dog shit. He goes, "I'm smoking dog shit."
Is that an Up and Smoke or what?
I think Up and Smoke was my favorite. That was definitely
Up and Smoke. I think is their best one.
Yeah, that was a good one. The second one was good too. The forget the name of it now, but Up and Smoke was definitely the best one with Sergeant Stadenko. See you, lard ass. See you, lard ass.
I need to watch those again. You like Pineapple Express?
Did not see it. I can't believe I didn't see it. But
oh, dude, that's one of my favorite stoner movies ever.
Half Baked was, or no,
Half Baked's good. Half Baked's awesome, but
With
Pineapple
Chappelle.
Express is a breed of its own, dude. They make a fucking 3-way joint. It's like a cross, and you gotta light all 3 ends. It's like 2 different. Like, it's so fucking funny. And then, what else do they do? I don't know. James Franco's just class act in that movie, dude.
That was their heyday back then, I think, in my opinion. Seth Rogen's still doing a good job, but Franco, that was his heyday.
Well, Franco got me too.
Yeah.
You haven't seen The Disaster Artist?
No.
That's not that old. That's a really good movie. Matt, you like that one?
Yeah, it's based on the
Room.
retelling of the creation of the Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
That's great.
What's next on the agenda, or do we go through
That's
all of
it.
We're
That's
done.
it, man. We're just shooting
Wow.
the shit. We're talking about our drug days and
Well, no, you're talking about your drug days.
which album did Joe's Doolin have on vinyl? Did we bring up an album?
What?
Joe's
I
doing
don't know
said.
what
Up in
The
Smoke.
soundtrack.
Korn redid that song though. What was the name of that song that Korn redid? The last song in Up in Smoke.
I'm not sure.
Dun 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 dun. It was actually a decent song. Shit. My mama talking to me, trying to tell me how to live.
Oh yeah.
Dun.
Mama talking
Korn-
to me, trying to tell me how.
Korn
to
redid it.
live.
It was good. It was a heavy song. It
Yeah.
wasn't really punkish even back then, but Korn redid it. Sounds pretty heavy.
Korn's not punk.
But whenever they did Up in Smoke, it was like they were at a punk rock concert and
Mama
did that
talking to
song.
me, trying to tell
Oh.
me how to
And then whenever
live.
Korn redid it, it actually is more of
But
a
I don't
heavier
listen to
song.
her because my head is so like a sieve.
Dun, dun,
My
dun,
daddy,
dun, dun,
he disowned me because I wear my sister's clothes.
dun, dun,
He caught me in the bathroom with a pair of pantyhose.
dun. I
My
love that
basketball
verse.
coach, he done kicked me off the team
And then
for
they have
wearing high heel sneakers and acting like a queen.
Queer, he said, right?
The world is coming to an end and I don't even care.
Yeah, that was a good song.
As long as I can have a limo in my orange hair.
Very
Yep.
punkish.
Dude,
It
how
doesn't
come,
It's
bother
a
me
great
if
song.
people
I
think I'm
love that song.
funny.
how come every
'Cause I'm
day
a
I
big
open
rock
the
star
news?
and I'm making lots of money. Money, 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 money. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I'm so bloody rich. I own my apartment building and shopping centers. Yep. Up in
Every-
smoke.
every time I open like to read like a news article or something, or like to look through articles, it's always another rapper that I've never heard of that's died. This time it's Costa Titch.
Ooh. R.I.P.
Apparently he dropped dead on stage.
That coke will do it to you.
But are these guys like TikTok famous or something? Like, why haven't I ever heard of these people?
Fentanyl, that's how into Kiwa. I don't know, dude. I don't fucking. You got me, Lance. But there's one group that'll never drop dead. It'll never get old. And we're gonna leave the show tonight with them playing us out. So I hope you all had a great Friday. Thank you so much to the chat. Thank you, Joe Doolin. Thank you to my beautiful, lovely wife, Erin. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Sticks. Thank you, Carday West. Thank you to Darth Lopez for stopping in.
Thanks to all the Bendejos.
Yeah, thank you to Derby
Pendejo.
Entertainment. Thank you to everyone who stopped in tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure to check us out tomorrow night over or right here on Saturday Night Special. We got a good show for you there. Make sure to check out JP and Rohan on Monday with another great episode of Absolute Game of Nerds. And it's not as great as their Grail episode. Nothing will
True.
ever top that episode, but you know,
We
it's
trailed off
still
since then.
it's still solid.
Trying to make it back up the hill.
Yeah. Make sure to check out Max and Tyler in the quickies and enjoy all the content we have dropping for you here on the channel. And on that note, we will play a band leaving the show tonight that will never get canceled, will never get old. And they've got an album that's about to go quadruple platinum. Have a good night. Never mind. It's not playing.
All you freaks and geeks,
Come all you freaks.
Happy
and
Easter,
geeks.
by the way, everyone.
Let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek,
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks
spread the cheese.
and drink
And
some
we're for
Cosby wine.
We'll
Come on,
drink
you
some
absolute
Cosby
geek.
wine. It makes me feel real fine.